What's the story, Sean? Just waiting on Giddy to come in here and give us a second. Jeez, that was some weather out there today, Sean, wasn't it? I knew it was going to bleed and stop when I got back. How are you, Robert? What's the story? Where's
Very
Bill?
good. Yeah, I have to just send this over to him.
What's the story for him, mate? Stop now, Sean. The bleeding blue skies are out there now, Sean. When I get back.
Mousy, I'll probably get kicked out here when I do this, so probably have to come back in again.
The link is there anyway.
It's all right. It's all right.
Did you say to Emily on TikTok about coming across?
No, sure didn't get a chance, bro.
Crazy last
You
year in
there?
Cork. Yeah. We'll send him out the link there.
Oh, what the hell? I'm not going doing all this wrong. I have to come back on the page. Enter studio again. Are you there?
Yeah, you can still enter our studio. It'll probably kick you out of the studio for a second. The live is still going and you're still in it. You just need to... It's asked me to accept you again. There's two giddies coming up. What's the story with that?
Drop one, mate.
That one working now,
yeah. I just logged in again.
Now, it's shared out to Boots and shared out to... you can get Med B out up here.
Right, give me a minute. Give me a minute. What I'll do, I'll drop out here and I'll go over.
And see who we can bring up back across with you.
Yeah.
What's the story, James?
Right, I'll be back in a minute now.
Are you afraid
keep the show going?
Right. So when he's gone there, we just wait for him to come back. Copperman, how are you? Hope you're well. We're just going to talk about immigration today and homelessness as soon as Giddy comes back.
Right.
That was some fucking weather today, Gideon, hadn't you know? It was fucking shy. I knew I had about 25-minute walk back. Who's that? Boots there now. What's the story, Boots?
What's the crack?
Oh, it was some bleeding weather down there. Boots said the bleeding. Clannyford says no. Protest.
The whole bleeding country is bleeding soaked over. Were you out there earlier on?
Yeah, I went down there, yeah. Got pissed all over. It's about 15 turned up, I'd say. If that, yeah.
Well, 15 is 15, you know, like, especially with that bad weather.
Yeah.
You know, still fair play to anybody who made it out.
Yeah. Have you known this flower? Oh, I couldn't wait to make it back, man. I couldn't wait to get back to me, gaff. Got bleeding walking and to start pissing out again. I said, yeah, well, fuck you.
Oh, yeah, you fucking car, man. Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, it's going without the car.
No more pulling up to the gap and fucking 1, 2, 3, boom, got into the door. Running out of the rain. Now you have to hop off the Lewis and, geez, you're a hike and a half away, aren't you, from that?
From there, about 25-minute walk, yeah, down to there.
Yeah.
It's right down the very back of the industrial estate. Now, when I walk down, I go through the front of it to get to the back of it. It's good walk, man. I haven't done that in years. I'm bleeding 47 now. It's even worse. It's a bit damp, mousy. Oh, days it was definitely damp.
Well, you think though, because you're out walking around town is different to actually being out on the street. Do you know what I mean? Down you're walking like and you can see the road ahead. You're like bollocks.
Yeah, I had that. Yeah, when I walked around there at the beacon there, there's a big long road all the way down to where the protest is. So literally when you
You
get
should
down
get
to
an
the last
electric.
corner,
You need to get yourself an electric scooter.
I think Giddy was saying he has electric scooter there for me.
Yeah, that'd be ideal for you. Do you know what I mean? Like the fly down, so you can hop on and off the Lewis with them.
I used to
But you
have one.
see,
Used to have four of them. I think it was at one stage. I had one of those little small bikes that I can't even think of his name now, but he goes around town on it. I had one of them little small bikes. I had a scooter that went about 60 kilometers an hour. Had another one that went about 30 kilometers an hour, but the fucking thing is broken. It's still out there in bleeding Bray. It is getting fixed. About 2 years now. And then I had one that went 100 kilometers an hour, and it was too fast, so I had to get rid of it. I crashed on it once. And he split my head open. So I said, right,
yeah,
that's enough of that.
Christ, that's enough to bleed, kid. That's fast.
Yeah, 100 kilometers, yeah.
You don't mind if no, like pushing fucking 20, 30 kilometers or whatever. Like that's enough. But like when I hit 100 kilometers, like you come off that at 100 kilometers, I hit something. Fucking hell.
Oh, yeah, brown bread, yeah.
Yeah, no getting up.
But 60 kilometers an hour was no problem. I had one that went 60 and I had it up the forest, and up my forest is like a track, goes right around the whole forest. So I used to go spinning up around there, and 60 kilometers an hour, no problem. Just when you went to
Heating
100
around
kilometers an hour, is a different cup of tea, you know what I mean? And the wheels,
it. How long ago was this?
2 years ago, say 3 years ago.
Well, I'm picturing your head up the fucking mountains, baiting around on the electric bike.
Yeah, it was no problem to me, man. Having the Guinness cheer, lads. Ah, nice one, yeah. There we have one.
So here, man, I hear there's rumours that your man is actually out. He's not locked up at all. Is that true? Because now the video we seen, the sun is out, where your man is saying, "No, he's coming to do this and that," but we haven't got the fucking sun out today.
I got a message off David Bray earlier on saying that he's had to get locked up.
I've been told by a lot of people, but a video got sent to me just there. Boy, Giddy actually sent me the video. So, and the video was your man sitting there saying and all, like, he's going to do what he's going to do. Like, he is a danger. I don't know why. Like,
why he was even released, man.
That's what we've been talking about all along. That's what has been coming across Europe for the last fucking 20 years. Do you know what I mean? As I was saying, slow motion. We've seen it in slow motion. Now it's here on our streets. I just can't get over these fucking lefties out there who still are saying, no, it's not true.
And have you talked to any lefties on the live about exactly your man's situation, about what your man said?
Oh, I heard that other clown over on his live there last night and all talking that your man had mental health issues. I don't give a fuck how crazy you are. Crazy men don't even say, I'm going to break into your house, cut his baby's throats, I'm going to kill you all. That's a fucking a psychopath. That's a fucking psychopath.
Yeah.
That's not someone with mental health. That's someone that knows exactly what they're doing and they want to fucking do it. They're not going to walk around the streets of another country and start spouting that kind of fucking shit out. They did not mean it.
That's true what Paul is saying there. Honestly, he's just a mouthpiece. It's the silent ones that's not advertising what's up on the web.
I understand, Paul, but when somebody like that tells you something like that, you can't ignore it. You like take it as fucking serious as you've heard it. Like, yeah, he's only a mouthpiece, but what's it? He walking past a woman pushing a pram, and he decides, I'm going to act here now, and he turns on that woman, you know, and unalive's holding the baby. It won't be so much of a mouthpiece then. It'd be someone who should have done something when we had the chance.
And it'd be all swept under the carpet as well. But that did happen. It'd be all swept under the carpet. Sure, just
yeah, no, but look at your man. Look, there was lads that was in the Dublin riots who had to be fucking dealt with and all. There was Philip Dwyer last summer when he got arrested out at the protest. His court case came and went. But that fucker that bleed done that to them 3 kids still hasn't got his fucking day in court.
It's I don't know, man. It just boggles me bleeding mind. How you
They
own?
want, I'm telling you now, they want something to happen. They want, there's no fucking way you're going to put these people in, like, men who have to look at their own women in their own country dressed from head to toe because they can't control themselves. But some clown brings them into Ireland, decides, going to put them next to a girls' secondary school and, a creche.
Yeah.
These fuckers coming in and, like, it's only a matter of time. They get their numbers up, but we're not going to have a fucking leg to stand on. It's happened already. It's happened in other countries already, other Christian countries. When they came in less than fucking 30 years, they were the majority. They took over, and then everything was getting chopped down piece by piece. Any other fucking religion. Just look them fucking up. They're an evil fucking cult.
Do you think this has been going on for about, say, 10, 12 years? Like they knew all about this immigration. This was all in the books. It was all going to happen anyway.
When the lockdown happened, right, and the tourism went down, and all the hotels and the B&Bs were getting no money because people were in the lockdowns, and the government came out and says, we have a plan for the tourist section. And that plan was to go around and buy up every fucking hotel, like rent it out for years, and then turn them into iPass centres. They fucking knew what was coming here.
Yeah. This was
They
all
fucking
planned.
they prepared for it, even though they were brushing their own Irish fucking like as fucking expendable. Like sacrificed them onto the fucking streets. They didn't give a bollocks about them. And it's only like when these people start coming fucking in that they were able to buy up these buildings and make accommodation, make room for people who hadn't got, who they claim had no way to stay. What we got was a population from the streets of fucking England. We got people from the streets of fucking France. We didn't get migrants and we didn't get anybody running from any fucking war at all. Like we all know, Palestine is over there fighting for its own country. So the Palestinians aren't coming fucking here. They're over there wanting their own country. Everything else from every other Muslim country is coming here. And the minute you were all Ukrainian at first, then when the Ukrainian thing or the Israeli thing kicked off, then they all became Palestinian.
Yeah, I heard as well another statistic today that it's been 129 tax, I think, in France so far this year.
Well, look, we're 5 million. They're 2 billion.
Yeah.
They can. I'm telling you, they will outnumber us. They'll take over everything. They're already in all the shops. They're in all the security. They're in places already. Our own nurses are getting sent off out of the country getting told to go look for work somewhere else where the money is, because there's nothing here for them.
And I heard they're hiring in the army again, aren't they? They're bringing whoever in, anybody.
Are they're taking anybody in there, are they?
Yeah, so I heard that they're like migrants are welcome to hire to deploy if they want.
Fucking hell.
But this is as people were saying, this is the start of it. This is what they're doing. They're going to get everybody, like all these migrants, into the army, and then they're going to be controlling. This is what we always said. These little small.
It was the Irish soldiers that would have kicked up a fuss about going against their own people during the lockdown. Do you think a migrant's going to give 2 bollocks, man? He's had to come from whatever war-torn fucking place he said he came from, the streets of fucking somewhere. He's not going to give a shit. No. You're Irish. I don't care. This is my country now. You're going to be fucking told.
It's going to be crazy. It's going to get worse, I think, in the next 10 years. I know it is getting bad now the last few weeks. The last few weeks, all these new iPass centres are popping up. Yeah. They've already got these iPass centres that are out there. Like the QROC one, it's not going to go ahead. But they're obviously going to stick those people somewhere else. Those people
you see, they're indoctrinating the skills already by forcing these other religions, forcing the kids into learning these religions.
That's right.
It's called the learn together skills now is what they're called. It's just another fucking thing. But like I think we were on a fucking podcast yesterday where we were talking about somebody was talking about fucking there was no Muslims really when we were kids at school. And if there was, they left the class when it came around to religion. They didn't have to sit there through it. Now the same for Jehovah's and things like that. They could grow up and live. But now the kids are our kids are being forced to learn like Islam of all fucking things.
Once,
Yeah, do you know what?
as you're saying
Yeah,
there,
sorry, you know what it is? How confused that is. They're telling you to respect a woman. Then they're getting you to enforce something that enslaves a woman. Then they're telling you to respect the man who wants to be a woman. You know, it's a full fucking circle the way it goes.
yeah, but the Muslims don't think that, do they? They don't like that, do they? The man that wants to be a woman.
No. They'll get their numbers up. And that's when everything will change in their favour. As I said, the ones who's out there causing all the shit on the streets now, they love all that's happening, but they're not speaking out about it. But they send their women out to say that women are unfair. So we're being told to respect, oh, Jesus, look at the poor Muslim woman here. Look at her, she's terrified, Islamophobe. But when an Irish girl comes out and says, I'm fucking terrified, you're a racist bigot.
There's an
You
echo, is
know,
there?
it's just fucking ridiculous.
And he's all here in echo. Is it just Paul there that's hearing it? We don't know, we can't hear anything. Muslims don't even like themselves. What's the story, Kev? Are you coming up?
What's up, Kev?
I think Gilly's going to have to get a few people from TikTok, bring them across. Maeve is one, your favourite boot.
Huh?
Maeve. I think Maeve's going to come across one of the days to the podcast.
Not maybe, call her Med B.
Med B, yeah. That's what I used to call her, Med B. And then I remember saying it, she said it in the live one day. She goes, you all call yourselves Irish. You haven't got a clue what my name is. My name's not
We
Med
knew
B.
it. No, we knew exactly. Yeah, we knew exactly what it was. Who didn't know the name fucking Maeve in Ireland? You know, you just call her Med B because she's on her meds, and she has a little far right B wing on her.
It's just as bad as the North. Yeah, definitely. There's nobody doing anything about it in the North, James, I don't think. So it's just happening up there. And anyway. Did I put the link out there for Kev, did I? Yeah. Yeah, he's going over to see if he can get Med B, and he's going to go over to get C if he can get, what's that young lad's name? He's a good speaker. Rian.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Rian said he'd come over one of these days. How are you, pretty good? You know, is it finished down there?
Bam Bam tried to rip him a new one the other night. She did.
She wants some fair right dicky. What's the story?
What's happening,
Yeah,
people?
we're doing that over there.
He's elected about 20 minutes later. Yeah, I got pissed on. Same as I said, pretty green was. I got pissed on. I had to walk home. No care now. Got pissed on again walking home. Med B
Everything
does.
there.
You know, I just started off, really. See if these people come across, they come across.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. How do you review comments on this?
Same as I said, pretty green. I'm not that far away. I live in Sandyford. But still, it's about 25-minute walk down to that part of the industrial estate. What are you trying to do, Giddy?
Did I see the comment down there? Somebody was putting in. Somebody called Owen was putting in. Is this not on revenue or something like that? Just trying to remove him.
It's not on what?
This not on revenue or something like that. You were saying. Somebody by the name of Owen.
It's on the revenue website. He's talking about something else, is he? I'll say Owen's all right.
Has he been
What's
in here
on
before?
It's on the
What's on
revenue
the
website.
revenue website?
I'm not sure.
Muslims don't pay any interest on the mortgages in Ireland under the same religious B bullshit. It's on the revenue website. That's what you said.
Oh, right. I didn't know what he was on about. Thought he was being funny.
So yeah, if they are being given a foothold, if they're not being given any tax or anything here, they're here and they're just going to get richer and richer and buy everything around them.
So I was looking at something there, and I'm going to give you all food for thought here. Yeah, is there many people in?
Sorry,
26.
there was the open Clondalkin there last night, wasn't there?
26.
Fucking community meeting.
That's right. Yeah, I was going to mention that as well. Well, I really want to mention this, right? Because this will get your hairs at the back of your neck sticking up. Okay, so if you actually look on the government website, right, they're putting 750 million into building houses for so-called homeless. Now, is that for refugees or is for us or whatever? We don't know.
Well, you know what?
Okay. Hold on. Sorry. Can I finish what I'm saying? Sorry. Can I finish, please? Sorry. So 750 million they're putting into building homes, right? But in this country in the last year, they put 2.9 billion into migrants coming into this country. So they've literally in this year they've paid 4 times the amount for migrants coming into this country to house them in IPAS centres. Now that
and that's only a temporary state that they're in, isn't it? They're only in a temporary state.
It'd be more than enough to keep their own fucking doctors and nurses in the country.
Hold on, can I just finish what I'm saying, guys? Because it gets all it's right in the middle of what I'm saying.
One.
Yeah, so 3 to 4 times the amount they're paying on migrants coming into this country, and then what's his name? Fucking Harris turns around and says it's not the money that they're paying out for it. They're not getting what they should need for it. Okay, in other words, it's not fit for purpose. What they're saying, right?
Yeah, getting gaslit.
Now you see they're all backtracking. All our government are starting to backtrack. Even the likes of Sinn Féin, Social Democrats, all of them right across the board, because they can see what's coming down the line for them.
So you know all these
people are going to turn.
You know all these IPAS centres that they're saying, oh, they're not going to house them now, they're not going to get used now, and people think we've won the victory for today. Well, I've been saying this all along. I hate to be like I'm not the bearer of the bad news and doom and gloom, but let's look at the reality of things. For every success that we have, even here in England, which has only been one, by the way, which was the one in Wales, but for the likes of Ireland, Clonmel, all these places that their IPAS centres are all getting cancelled now and withdrawn. Where else are they going to put them? They've got to go somewhere else.
They're going to look for secondary places to do them. Like Mousy took a walk down to his own one up in his own area in Sandyford tonight, and where they could possibly fit. How many down there, Mousy?
300. They're talking about 300 odd.
Right. I know 300 doesn't seem like a small figure, but if you get like 10 places with 300 odd in them within that vicinity, because we already know there's another one up in Sandyford where they took over apartments and they put about probably, I don't know, maybe 40 families in it, 50 families in it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And they're all for them. They're not for Irish consumption. They're not there for anything for the Irish. The Irish can rot on a piece of carpet.
Yeah, the locals were told that there's only 20 women that were going in there, but now they're building 60 apartments. And it's not for the Irish, it's for them.
So, not only is government turning around and looking...
We think we're winning a battle here when they say, this IPAS centre's not getting pushed through now. But at the end of the day, they're putting them somewhere else, and the problem is not going away. They're just passing the buck. That's it. They're not leaving Ireland, are they? The people aren't leaving our countries. They're not leaving. They're not getting in a boat and going back home. They're getting put somewhere else. Where are they all getting put when all of a sudden there's been like 3 IPAS centres that have all been cancelled
To be fair,
and withdrawn by the state over the past week, all of a sudden, for some peculiar reason. Yet, the building, the door of 100,000 building this bloody place to put them in.
Eddie, what's happening in the UK is completely different to what's happening in Ireland. In Ireland, the people are
happening in the UK. I am aware what goes on, buddy. I'm aware what goes on in Ireland. I'm aware that Ireland is different from the UK. Okay, I didn't land in a box yesterday. I'm just saying, where are these people going to go?
In a box. What are you being so cheeky about?
I'm not being cheeky. I'm making you aware that I know that there is a difference between Ireland and England. Okay, I do know that. I recognise that difference.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, what I'm stressing is.
Well, it's just the way I come across. Sorry about that. I'll talk a bit slower. I'll talk a bit slower and softer if that's better. This is just the way I am. But where are these people going to go?
They're back on a plane, back to their own country. It's not like the Irish or English governments are short of a few bucks to throw them on a plane back to their own country. Do you know what I mean? If they can pay $2.5 billion out for them, why can't they throw them on planes, charter fucking full planes off Ryanair, and off you go? Like every other hotel and every other fucking B&B across the land is out there making millions off this. So why doesn't Ryanair make their millions off it and get them back to their own country?
Yeah. So they're like capturing us with the airshery, with the debt as well. So our countries are going to be in this crazy mad debt now at the end of all this. Even now the debt's just getting bigger, so we're always going to be hook, line and sinker here. It's never, the hole's always getting deeper. There's no end to this, what's happening. Therefore we'll become more and all that stuff.
You've always had debt. Every country has lived on debt for donkeys, as long as you can look back. Every country has had debt. They've lived on a bill of debt. England is, Ireland is, Europe is. They're all living on a bill of debt. But
so what's happening today? What's happening today will be taking us way over 100 years to pay for. Just what's happening. We know
that. We're in a similar predicament. We got a chunk of it paid off. We did. But we'll never pay that amount of money off. And Europe knew that when they gave us that money. They're very clever what they've done. Do you know what I mean?
That's right.
And it's the same with the UK. Even though he's left out on Brexit, you still owe them something like bleeding 240 billion or something.
Yeah. And this is the way they run it. This is the way they do it. This is the way they get the clause in.
Imagine the interest on 240 billion. Fucking hell.
Yeah, well, Starmer just give 100 million away. In fact, I think it's more than that. I think I forget what it is, but basically we're in debt for the next 100 years just for the Ukraine alone, where he's pledged to give them each year for the next 100 years, basically. You can't make this shit up.
To be fair, I don't think Stammer's going to stay there long. I think he's going to be another one that's going to get kicked out there and another one elected. And they're saying, what's his name? What's his name for UKIP? What's his name again? Fucking hell. Sorry. What's his name? Who?
Farage.
Sorry, am I getting fucking... I can't hear what you're saying there. Sorry, Steady.
Were you saying the Reform crew?
Is it Reform? I don't know who it is. Is it UKIP? I don't know who they are.
UKIP have got the best following the two main parties.
Farage, and they're saying that Farage is going to be the next PM. They're saying.
Yeah, and he's just another
wolf. Do you not think that's another wolf in lamb's clothing?
Yeah, absolutely. He's done this. He's got form for this. He's done this since UKIP. That bloody, what was it? The England Defence League party he was in. He done it with the Brexit party. Just dropped the ball. We talk a good job. Yeah, but always talk, he just seems to. He's a plant, basically. He's nothing short of control.
He turned his back on EDL, didn't he? He turned his back on Tommy Robinson. Which that just shows automatically that he's a turncoat and he's going to turn on your whole country. And if your country goes for it, they're very stupid. If anybody, I'm not saying he'd ever get in as MP, yeah, but if he could, Tommy Robinson, I'd love to just see what would happen with that.
But same again, he's up to a point. Even if he's imprisoned or wherever, doing a Greta Thunberg, he still controlled opposition. He viewed all of us as being far right, doesn't want anything to do with us, looked down his nose at us, nationalist, was disgusted with us, condemned us, and openly says, you know, he's a Zionist, proudly states that he's a Zionist. So where do his loyalties lie? He goes on and on about the Muslim rape gangs, and he's brought light to that. Who opened the doors? Who opened the doors? Who allowed the Muslims in, Tommy? The same Zionists that you support. So where do we go from this? We've got the whole country, the whole movement's been infiltrated.
But you not think that the UK is corrupt since like Tony Blair? If you go back that far, even Tony Blair is the one that opened the doors.
Yeah, well, I seen the signs the way they were doing it. I seen the signs of the corruption on what they were doing.
The UK was brought to Thatcher, and then Tony Blair came along.
How the corruption works in what not from what Thatcher was doing upon us, let's say, from what they themselves done to her and turned upon her, and that to me was my sort of recognition. You know, it goes way deeper than that. Even if you want to go politically, how did we get here? Churchill handed us right on a plate to this agenda.
Well, we won't go that far back. That's a bit too far back, in it. Yeah, it has no bearing on what's happening today. What I'm saying to you is Tony Blair fucked it up for everything. Yeah. And our government took notes from the UK, and they've jumped on the bandwagon saying, oh, look what they're doing to the people. We'll do the same here, and we'll fuck Ireland up as well. We'll give them nothing, and we'll start, you know, taking. And then we're getting crumbs off the table. And now these people that are coming into our country, they're prioritised for housing, okay, over our own people. We have 15, it doesn't seem like much, but we've got 15,500 in a small island of what we've got. We've got kids that are in rooms, and like I've said before on this app and on my own page, what I do, I've said kids are sitting in there on Christmas, and they're turning around and they're saying to the world, is Santa going to drop into my hotel where I'm staying, or the hub where I'm staying with my family? I'm worried about the simple little things in life that a kid shouldn't have to worry about.
It's heartbreaking.
And then you have these. Sorry, can I just finish what I'm saying? So these people that are coming in, right now, I know people will probably go, that's not fair, Giddy. I'll say it as it is. There's kids being brought in from different countries and being given operations when our own kids are lying in hospital beds and they're not getting the right operations, and the wrong tools are being used against them.
You can't make this
Jesus Christ. No, you can't. And our government is sitting there on their hands going, with their tongues out, looking at Europe and saying, who's next? Who wants this and who wants that? There's a bone for you. Yeah, you can come to Europe. Like fucking Farage, he fucked off over to America, took up a new job. He went to Europe. He done all the little business after what he done to this country and fucked it up. Yeah. And then all of a sudden we have this absolute wretch of a fucking gobshite that like he built a hospital, he didn't finish it. Everything he's touched in the last 10 years, he's broken. And then you have that baldy cunt from Cork. Like he's whinging about his kids that he lost. I understand. I bear with anybody. I bear with the mother that he lost her children. But that cunt used it from 10 years ago now to get sympathy vote off the people. Do you know what I mean? The cunt is a piece of shit.
When you look at things, right, I get what you're saying, and you're absolutely right. This is a managed.
Ireland's for the Irish. Ireland is going to be for the Irish. And the people are waking up. The fucking lion is waking up. And I'm telling you now, this country is going to fucking uproar if it doesn't get on its fucking feet and start getting out there. The 7 next week is going to prove Cork, okay? If that doesn't have more than 10,000 people at least down there on this Saturday coming, there's something seriously wrong with this whole fucking country.
Saturday week, yeah.
Yeah, so Saturday coming, if you're not down in Cork and you sit up on all these lives and you sit up on TikTok and you talk bollocks out, you're saying, oh yeah, I'll rally you on because if you're not there, you're full of shit. Yeah, simple as that. And to be fair, if I go down there and it's a shit show, I'm telling you as honestly, and I hate to say this, but I'm hanging up my boots. I'm not fucking bothering with it anymore. I'm going back to my normal life, and I'm just going to do what everybody else do. Ignore it. I'm fucking. Do you know what I mean? Because the way I see it now is, I'm after been doing this for the last 3 years straight, and looked at every situation through this, and went to protests, and went to IPAS centres, went against government, went against TDs, and so many fucking people saying, yeah, they'll do this, they'll do that, and they never do fuck all. I don't know the truth, Sully. I probably won't give up. I'm probably lying. I just can't. It's in me blood. It's in me heart, because I look at my child's eyes every fucking morning when I wake up for school, and I see him and I say, this world is not going to change for him. Do you know what I mean? I have to change it for him before we leave this earth.
What's the future going to be like for him, as you say, huh?
Yeah. Like, we can't, like, a 500 grand, like, we have foreigners coming in here that are here a wet day, and they're paying 500 grand for mortgages on houses, and they're getting these grants. How the fuck are they getting them, and our own people are not getting them? Do you know what I mean? Our own Irish people.
You've seen the houses in my estate, and
Yeah.
they're not worth fucking. But one went there this week for 540,000, $2 up from me. 540 grand for a council house, and it's these Indians that are buying them all. There's
I know, this is what I'm saying.
There's 3 Muslim families on my road, and there's a few Indians.
I'm not being bad, Mousy. I'm not being bad, but do you know what? Give them a fucking Irish welcome. Go down and knock on their door and give them an Irish welcome. Let them know how welcome they are in this country, because they're not fucking welcome. They shouldn't be here. And I'm not being bad when I say that, because, like, I do with Boots. We go to the gym every single fucking morning, right? And Boots, what do I always say to you? I always say to you, look at her. She's about fucking 80. What use is she here? And he's 90. And he's like that. Some of them are decrepit. They're walking along and with an arch on their back.
Yeah, and you see them pulling up in their cars, and, like, you know, it's taking them a few minutes to get out of the car, and you're like, why are they contributing to the fucking country? Like, you know, they're not, but they're a burden, basically. You know, they're going onto the health system, you know, that they want to free up. There's part of it that they can free up.
Paul O'Neill, you're 100% right. Every time the summer comes out, people put on their shorts and their t-shirt and wave their flag. When it comes to winter, which we've been out in the rain, we've been out in the cold, the snow, fucking freezing, not feeling your toes. Yeah.
And people see me live tonight, man. It was pissing out raining on me live tonight.
And he still got down there and done it. Yeah, you still got down and done it, Mousy. That's the thing.
A fair play to them all, yeah. Whoever was down there tonight.
No, there's too many. Do you know what it is? There's too many people coming up on YouTube and TikTok and all these other fucking profiles, yeah? And what they're doing is they're sitting from their room directing things and saying, oh, look at this, oh, look at that, and look at the other. But not one of them people are being fucking out there. Do you know what I mean? The masses of gatekeeper was national movement and award.
I'll be disappointed, man, if we go down to Cork and there's more lefties than there is us.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. Like, have we to go to an old school way? Because I believe that, like, I don't think we're doing it right in this country. I think that we're afraid of the government and we're afraid of the Garda, right? We outnumber the Garda 10-1. We outnumber the state 10-1. And we certainly outnumber the fucking lefties 200-1. Easy, okay? And everybody says you can't deal with violence with different things, right? I'm not saying be violent, but come here. If you throw a mask and a pair of glasses on you, you're not being violent. They're allowed to have their glasses and their masks on to cover their faces with their fucking swabs and whatever else, yeah? Why not give it to them? Why not give it to the lefties? If you get a chance, before the Garda get them contained, as they put it, why not give them a good fucking hiding for themselves? That's my honest opinion. Because all they're doing is literally fucking up this country for us. Award welcoming fucking migrants into our country. Like that fucker that, sorry about this language, really. I'm just that angry and annoyed. That Benjamin guy that was walking around Ballyfermot, and I'm after looking at another video of him there saying that he's going to go around and he's going to, break your knees and pull your eyeballs out and all this sort of shit, and then telling us that he's going to unalive our children. Like, how much more has this
That's
country...
what your man's name is, Benjamin, is it?
Yeah, Benjamin, yeah. So what I'm saying is, like, how much more has this country we know about the GAA, but do you know what? I don't like either show you're a patriot or not. Who gives a fuck about a game that happens every year anyway? The government done that on purpose, and everybody knows it because it's always held on a Sunday. So really, I couldn't give a fuck about GAA. I prefer rugby myself.
But it's the whole point. It's the whole principle of what he's saying. That's why. And I'm not really a GAA lover myself, man, but I get what he's saying. Like, why have they moved it from Sunday to Saturday?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like going at you for it. I'm just saying, literally, that's what I'm saying. People look for something to put in the way, and say to put it in the way. If it's our sight, our mind, I think. I don't. That's the way I see things. I see it probably a different way to other people. Our sight, our mind, and be there. Show your face. These people are already threatening people online. Trying to scare people to come down, trying to say that the 7 is cancelled, making up bullshit statements about Derek Bly, yeah, which is all lies, yeah, and they're trying to put all these people down that are right across the board. I might not like Derek Bly, but I respect what he's trying to do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we all have a part to play in this, man. We all have a part to play in this movement. Doesn't matter how big or small, or what another person's doing or whatever. We all have a part to play.
Yeah, because if we don't, like, where are we going to stand? Like, where your kid's going to stand? Like, I'm not messing with you. They're going to be at the end of the queue. And one of these days, right, mark my words, because you'll say, that mad fucking cunt Giddy was talking about this 2-3 years ago. And I mark my fucking words on it, yeah? You'll go to that school in September one of these days, and you'll have your 2 kids, or your 1 kids, or your 3 kids, and you'll turn around and you'll go, I want to get my kids into the school. They'll go, sorry, we've no places. And you'll walk down past that school about 2 or 3 weeks later in the winter months, and you'll see a load of coloured people running all over the yard where the schools have took them on over your children, and they have never contributed. Your older sons or your brothers or your sisters went to that school, so over the last 30 years they've been in and out of that school, and these people are just walking in, getting that, going into our doctors, getting that, going into our hospitals, getting treated. Our people are not getting treated. Our people are not getting skilled. Our people are not getting educated. Like,
That's
look
the
at the
way it's
money
going to
that
be
the
every
government is
year.
wasting.
What the white kid.
And I've nothing against, like, don't get me wrong, I've nothing against black people. I've got 2 nieces that are like coloured. Do you understand? That are
It's already happening. Starting the same.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I know it is happening. I know this, right? And then you have the sexualization of children in the schools. But that's for another day. Do you know what I mean? A homeless situation at the moment is 15,500 people, right, that are in Ireland that are homeless. That's probably not including the younger generation that's living at mum and dad's in their bedroom still. Yeah, can't make a family because they don't have the space to do so because they're under a mum and dad's feet. Imagine how many people that are out there doing a normal day's work, getting an average day's wage, and can't get a mortgage because of all these foreigners coming into this country. Everybody like is looking at me, and I've had this said to me and repeated back to me. You seem very racist towards the people. That's not being racist towards anybody. That's being me loving my country as to what my people should have. So if you want to call me racist, print it across the front of my head because I don't give a fuck. And that's being honest. I'm sick of this shit with everything that if I shit wrong, it's racist. That's a load of bollocks in my eyes.
No, it's like if I went to Africa and I'm told, okay, these people are getting a house before you. They're on the house in this 20 years. They're only in the country. I'd respect that. I'd say, yeah, that's fair enough. You know what I mean? I'm only here. I get that. But put me on the housing list, and they'd put you on the housing list, but you'd have to wait till that other person gets the house first. And that's the way it should be here, but it's the opposite way around here. The Irish government are doing something different. They're giving the people the houses first.
I'll give
And
you
the
another
people
one.
that are on the housing list for 19 years are being forgotten about.
No, I'll give you another one here, right? So, regardless of what council you're at, right, find out if they have a choice-based letting within that council across any part of the country that you're in, okay? And what I want you to do is, for your own homework, for your own thing, for a little bit of investigation yourself, make up a story that you know a foreign family that has took on a house through the council, right, through choice-based lettings. right? And say, how come I'm not housed? And what number was I on that house that was available? I was told I'm 74th on a house and I'm 8 years on a waiting list, right? And the exact same house that I was going for is being given to Indians, okay? And the person, luckily enough, I know who it is. And also a Polish person, well, no, sorry, she wasn't Polish, my mistake. She's Lithuanian, yeah? And she's here to wet day also. And she has the same landlord that I currently have. And she was given a house also, right? And they're only here in the country less than 2 years. So when you put this to the council, they turn around to us and then say, no, we don't give out our stock to anybody else unless they got it some other way. I says, well, what other way? If it's not through the council, what other way would you have gotten it? And why have they got it and we've not got it? Why is there people not housed and their people? Like, we wouldn't have a housing problem if we didn't have migrants in this country. We wouldn't have waiting lists on trolleys if we didn't have migrants in this country. We wouldn't have waiting lists in schools for our kids to get into school and get properly educated if we didn't have migrants in this country. And I'm not saying all migrants. The Polish never done us any wrong. The Chinese never done us any wrong. It just seems to be the ones that are like they think that we owe them something, and that's Africa. Yeah, Africa seems to be a big one that like they built their country, they done this, they know our history, they know this, they know that, and they everything they do is the best way they do it. Our country is full of shit. In other words, trying to take our culture and reform it. Do you know what I mean?
And they're using what the UK did to them. They're saying that that the UK, whatever they're saying the EU's done this and the EU's done that. It wasn't anything to do with the Irish at all.
What
were you saying there about? Sorry, the button there.
Sorry, long shot. Over here, choice-based lessons. Yeah, it could be similar to what you've got over there. It could be NGO. Most of the housing places over here are NGOs for this government, and anyway, they're the counter protesters. We've had one from Tua housing that was in Drogheda. Two brothers that assaulted far right protesters, supposedly far right protesters, and then it was found out later on that they actually work for Tua housing. So that just gives you a rough idea what way the land lies here. Do you know what I mean? We need hefty lads coming out with us. We got 100,000 plus in Dublin on the 26th of April gone. Yeah. We need in Cork 20,000 plus or more to go to Cork and let this government really open up its eyes and say, we can't afford to do that again because the amount of guard we needed.
Sure.
And
for everybody to come out in Cork, it's a show that every county is against the government.
Yeah, you're right.
So to show strength.
And another thing as well, guys, I will put this to you, yeah? I'll tell you it's fucking very straight. You look at all these iPass centres, and I mean, literally go onto the government website, look where these iPass centres are. Every single one of them is a stone throw from a school, right? And I'm not trying to fear anybody here or scare anybody here, but mark my words, if these are going to come out like walking ants and they're going to hold your kids ransom in that school in order for you not to kick off or cause riots and do as the government says, think about that other situation in your head, because if that happens, are you going to honestly go rioting while your child is in that school? And you have a bunch of foreign people that don't care about you, your children, or anything about you because they came from countries that they think it's okay to unalive people. They compare us to Hitler. No, there is no such thing as Hitler wasn't a bad person, I don't think, personally, and not being bad, but he wasn't. Do you know what I mean? It's like the way we were portrayed to understand Hitler was that he's a bad person. But if I turn around to you and say the guys that hang around the shops are a bad person, you're going to go on believing that for the rest of your life. So, to be fair, nobody that marches in these parades are bad people. The people who march in these protests, I should say, are good people, good, hard-working people. Some people with disabilities, some people that are on social welfare, some people that had drug problems, some people that had drink problems, some people that recovered. Real, ordinary, decent people that you see every day of your life. Where are all Dublin 4 with us? Well, I'll tell you why Dublin 4 is not with us, because they don't have that problem in their area. Dublin 4 doesn't have a migrant centre sitting at their school of their kids, somebody looking in the window tossing himself off. Do you know what I mean? Or going after their kids, or going after their women. When did you ever hear of any assaults happening in Dublin 4? When have you ever heard of anybody being hurt in Dublin 4? And when you ring in Dublin 4 the Garda, you don't take 2 or 3 hours to get there. They're there in 5 minutes. As it was made very clear when the TDs were marched outside their houses, the Garda were there in a split fucking second. But
I'd say they're driving around Dublin 4 as well. I'd say that they're always around the area.
Robert, I'd like to say, I'm not trying to scare anybody, but that's the truth of it. I know, like, how these things are done, like, from experience of serving in the army, as to the way that they gather their information and the way that they hold things down. And that's how they do it. They put their soldiers in every area where it's a softer touch to take hold of the people that be less defenses, like older people, women, children. And if the men want to start, they're holding them ransom to stop you doing anything wrong. And what can you do? You either watch your family getting butchered, or else you fight. Like, that's it's here nor there. Do you know what I mean? Either you do it or you don't.
Is it true what I was hearing?
I'd like to speak
people
German more than English, to be fair. I'd love to have blue eyes and blonde hair as well. And to be fair, Germans, like, yeah, but look at the Germans and the Swedes and all them, right? Look at all them countries that did whatever they did when back then, right? The women are chiseled out, fucking beautiful, and the men are good looking as well. Whereas the likes of the UK and Ireland, I'm not putting us down, but we are good looking people. We're the best looking people on the earth. But we've got the
we're
best
getting battered by the weather over here, Giddy.
You what?
I says we're getting battered by the weather over here.
No, we just don't get enough sunlight, and we don't get things right thrown at us, and we've always had the lower end of the deck. We've never had anything given to us. We fought for everything that we ever had. And name one thing that was ever given to us. Nothing. Anything that we've got in this country, it's built on us. No foreigners came in here and built nothing for us. We built England, we built America, we built fucking everywhere nearly.
Yeah, but now they're using the excuse, man. I got talking to a few grandmothers in town, and they're using that excuse now that the foreigners are actually building Dublin now. Building Ireland. They're building all these apartments.
Well, yeah, they're building all these apartments, right? Now, here, I'm going to say this to you, right? What regulations have they got in their country when they're building their own apartments over there? And how many apartments has collapsed? How many apartments has been, like, badly made? How many apartments has been, like, just houses that are shittily made, right? Like, over here, they're building their properties. Like, we're waiting for a disaster to happen that they build a big 8-story building and it collapses. And then the government
here, man, in my estate, there's a new estate built next door to my estate now. And the roof came off it. No, real windy day. The whole roof came off it.
Yeah,
off the apartment block.
For themselves. Yeah, fair. Yeah, that is a fair comment. That is for themselves. They're building it for themselves, not for the Irish people.
Our true enemies are laughing at us.
Yeah, it's true. But this is what I'm saying. People just don't seem to understand. Like, if you don't get out, how many people's in this live now at the moment?
44.
Right, so there's 44 people in this live. If you get 2 or 3 friends to come with you to Cork, right, that's over 150 people that are coming with you to Cork. Do you know what I mean? And if they get 2 and 3, add the numbers. They keep on going up. You get a minimum of 5 people to come with you. You start adding the numbers up. Do you understand? And if you cared about your country so much, and you cared about what's happening, and you're not, like, you want something to change, the only way you're going to get it to change is let the government hear what your scream is. You want the migrants out. You want houses for your own. You want the hospital wait list gone. You don't want water charges. You don't want Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael in. You don't want Sinn Féin in. You don't want fucking Social Democrats in. You don't want Labour in. You don't want Greens in. And onto whatever who the fuck they are. You definitely don't want that baldy fucker in because he's a soft ball of Fianna Fáil or Fine Gael. He'll change when it suits him. Yeah, you want the new National Party in. That's what you want in, and get out and vote. Make sure you're registered to vote and get this fucking election snapped. And Jesus Christ, if you just got them in, what way would Ireland go? The rest of Europe would look at us and go, yeah, that's the way we want it. Get the fuck out of Europe. Get the fuck right out of Europe. That's my advice.
Do you think even if everybody started voting, do you think we'd get enough numbers to vote for the party, the certain party that we want? Because now they're using the migrants as their numbers. So they can just go to the migrants saying, yeah, we get your house in 9 months. Make sure you vote for me. And you just say it to them all.
That's how they get into the local elections, and then once they get the numbers up in the locals, they can run in the general. Right now at this minute, I believe they're not allowed to run in general elections, but that'll all fucking change fairly fast.
And the thing is, we were standing there and we were watching these Fianna Fáil councillors handing them leaflets, giving them phone numbers, and saying, "This is who you should vote for." We were watching them do it. Do you know what I mean? And he turned around to me, he had the cheek to walk across and said, "Did you just take a picture of me?" And I said, "Yeah." And what? Just because it's in a private supermarket. Fuck you. Do you know what I mean? Take these pictures, put them up online, show them what they're doing. Show the dirty, disgusting ways that they turn on the people.
Yeah. Show all these lefties as well. Shame them all.
See those lefties, like, I think we should start something like, if you crack a lefty, you get a tenner, something like that put into your Revolut. So, I mean, or will you do it for free? So, I mean, crack a lefty, tell them not to turn up anywhere. That's what my advice would be.
There's no way. I'm just reading what Eddie says there. The system cannot be fixed with the system, but in my opinion, man, I don't see a way of it getting fixed ever, because we're part of the EU, and they're in control of what our government does, and they're telling our government to take these people in. You don't take the people in, you're going to get a fine of 20 grand.
So, can I just say something to you there? You say voting is long gone. No, we could have a snap election. We could actually take this government. If we had 2 million people, right, and I know that's asking a lot, but if we had 2 million people out in the street, the government would have no choice. They have to have a snap election. They have to drop and they have to give us a snap election.
Yeah, get your call, yeah.
The time for an election.
The what?
Now is the time for an election. Get everybody back on the register that they took off, and let's see what the numbers come out then.
And they use dead people to vote for them. And we know that. And they're talking over 500,000 more people that were dead. That's who voted for them. And they're being found out. And they're sitting there smug. And they know about this. 2 million people to hit the streets of Ireland, right? Whether it be in Cork, Limerick, whatever. Doesn't matter. Dublin, Cork. Doesn't matter what county you're in. We're all Irish. We all have the same blood running through our veins. Yeah? 2 million people out. And I promise you, your life will change. Your life will change. That's all I'll say to you.
But do you even think we're going to get even 10,000 down Cork? Cork is a lefty county.
I don't care.
So it's really people coming from other counties to make it up to numbers, really.
Now, see, if it was just us three up there in Cork waving our flag on our own and there was 1,000 lefties, I'd still look in their face and tell them, fuck you. That's how much my heart goes with this country. I couldn't care less how many lefties as in Cork. I couldn't give a shit. You know,
either you 4 voting cards for people who can't vote. These 4 votes outdone myself. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Definitely. And my dad's vote.
And yeah, numbers do matter. But listen, come here. If one person just shows enough heart for their country, and I'm like, my jaws hurt, my heart hurts for this country. The way people, where is the fucking fighting Irish gone? I remember when I was in the UK, people would turn around to you and say, by the way, you're going to have a scrap with him. He's Irish. They know how to fight. And we fucking do. And we've fought from the ground up. We've fought all our lives. And where's it gone? You know, like, what's wrong with people? Like, you know, don't put your baby up anymore and wipe their knee and tell them don't worry about it, and then tell them it's okay to play with makeup.
But it has changed, man. You have to agree. I mean, it has changed. I mean, the numbers we were getting, say, 3 years ago compared to the numbers that we're getting now to the protests, it's got bigger. More people are waking up.
Lady Bear, you got a very good point there, yeah? Left and right. There is no left or right. We are not right. We are concerned mothers and fathers. We're a generation X, as they put it. We're a generation that we live without phones. We live without computers, all that sort of stuff, right? The life that we had a great life, yeah? Until technology came in and fucked this country up. And that's why we need to leave Europe. We need to get the fuck out of Europe. Europe is nothing but a burden to us.
Poison.
Like, our government are afraid of the actual, you know, they're frightened of Europe. They do as they say. We're not being run by a government here. And that's why Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael are sitting there. Because of Europe, not because of the people here. We need a referendum. Yeah, of course we do.
Just reading what Paul is saying. Mousy, testing season. But no, you have to admit, Paul, that the numbers have got bigger. I'm seeing faces there that I wouldn't even expect to see at a protest.
Lady Bear, we have big generators that run these tech companies that cost more than all the households in Tala, just one of them, yeah? And we're paying for that. We're paying for that because the government give them a 2% VAT rate. They give them everything handed on a plate, because if the tech companies were to leave Ireland tomorrow, Ireland would be bollocksed. If the pharma companies were to leave Ireland tomorrow, we would be back in the 80s. We'd be done for, yeah? But not to say we couldn't fight that and build up ourselves. I keep on saying it.
Every Shamrock.
Sorry, Giddy, not necessarily. There's other things out there that could be brought in. Like, you get rid of them things out of the country, but there's other things out there that could come in and walk out of Ireland. You know, companies like
what exactly?
The pharmaceuticals and the computers. Like, there's more than that out there. There's cars being made. Like, big car companies here.
Well, no, you see, the way I see it is, right, if we're one of the biggest pharmaceutical places in the whole of the world, I believe, right? Why can't we make our own pharmaceutical companies? Why can't we have Irish-based ones? Like, we used to have things called, like, you know, for our foods called Shamrock, if anybody remembers that, right? And it was owned by an Irish company, owned by Irish people. Do you know what I mean? Like, why can't we have that back? Why can't we have our electricity grid back where it's Irish owned? Our waters, which is Irish owned, everything Irish owned. We used to have this little symbol that said it was Irish owned, Irish beef, Irish this, Irish that. We don't have that anymore. You know what I mean? You go into Lidl
and credit unions back to the people. The government had no right of buying them fucking things up.
Yeah, because they saw the money. Yeah, they saw the money. That's what they saw. But here's another thing as well. You're going to Lidl and you're going to Aldi and you think you're getting something cheap. You're not getting that cheap. Comparison to the Duns, you're not getting that cheap. You're getting this. You're paying the exact same.
If you don't receive it in the packets now, where you used to get 6 in a pack, now you only get 5.
You go into a normal sweet shop.
Get 6 Giljohns in it, but now you only get 5 Giljohns in it. So for the dealer prices.
Look at it, like, simply look at this. Go into a shop, get a Snickers bar, pick it up, look how many grams in it. They still have the old 50-gram bars on the shop. Now they've gone down to 49 grams. They took 1 gram away, but they're still selling at a higher price. And all because of the Ukraine war. The Ukraine war is putting price value on everything, yeah? We had a guy that came to the Mill Centre in Clondalkin. He was from Ukraine. He was asked to leave a shopping centre. And as he was asked, like, this is the peaceful Ukrainians now, by the way. And he pulled out a sharp object and stuck it in the security guard. Yeah. This is coming from pure 100% right what happened. Do you know what I mean? So that's the peaceful Ukrainians. And we had a peaceful Ukrainian lad that was up in Limerick that decided to want to go around knocking out old people and hitting women. Yeah, but nobody like bats an eyelid. Do you know these things? Then you had this guy Benjamin going wanting to hurt all our children and all sorts of shit. Yeah, why was he not like absolutely annihilated before even the guard got him? Why did like if the guard back in our day, if you remember correctly, they'd rip you up and they'd kick lumps out of you. They're gone that pussyfooted that they can't. They're not even allowed to hitch anymore, which I still think they should be allowed to do that because it put manners on us. You know what I mean? Yeah, it still made it. We had our own homegrown criminals and everything else, but we didn't have the likes of fucking Paul Murphy back then, did we? We didn't have Paul Murphy going, oh yeah, I don't know what my child is, what sex or gender it is. And you don't have people turn around and say, I want to be a kitty cat, or I want to be a fucking mouse, or I want to be a fucking, a dog, right? I was watching videos there of people going to dog shows where the guy is dressed as a fucking dog and he's telling him to roll over and he's clapping his hands and going, good boy. Like, what the fuck are we going
I
into
actually
here?
read that somewhere, Giddy. I read that somewhere. It was either on Facebook or something. That you have
Education,
one,
Luke Brannigan. Yeah.
that you have one close around here somewhere, and you all dressed up in cats and dogs. It's for adults.
Yeah.
It just sounds weird.
No, like I just like somebody just mentioned there, Luke Brannigan. I haven't heard that said for a long time. Education, I'm not too sure what age you are, or did you just hear the stories of it? But yeah, I know exactly who Luke Brannigan was. I'm sure the majority of people would remember who Luke was. And he was actually an alright copper, but he just
It's
wouldn't take
noise.
no shit. He'd punch the head off you.
Yeah, sorry. I agree with you, yeah. Now we got host Brannigan.
Yeah, that I remember, like, I can tell you stories that you just never believe. Some of the coppers, like, you'd be feared of, like, in the Clondalkin area at the time back in the 80s and 90s. Like, Jesus Christ. You wouldn't spit on the ground in front of these because you get a clatter in the back of the head and told to pick it up. How strong do you think you are? Pick it up. Do you know what I mean? That was like nowadays they come flying down on a scooter at 45 kilometers that they
Oh,
could
good,
run the
John.
field over. They let
Cheers,
them
bro.
go. They have Judge Nolan that takes on criminals that are ordinary decent criminals. And when I say that, I mean armed robbers, people that go out and rob the banks and whatever else. And he gives them stupid amount of time in jail, right? But yet when somebody comes in after messing with a child or messing with a woman or DV or anything like that, oh no, you get a suspended sentence. You walk free. You know what I mean? You're grand. You didn't do that really bad. That wasn't a real bad, heinous crime. That's worse than anything that ordinary decent criminals do. He needs to be locked away with them, yeah, on an island. We've got plenty of little islands outside of Ireland that we can throw them all onto and let them all do each other.
Yeah, that's what they need,
That
man.
includes,
Yeah.
that,
They need them.
that includes
I think they even need them away from Ireland altogether. If all these Africans are coming over to Ireland, why would we be sending all them PDFs over there?
if I had me way, I'm not messing with you. Do you know the big, huge plane that we've got down at Baldonnel there? The big army plane.
Yeah.
I'd stick them in the back of that, yeah, and I'd cement their feet in cement, yeah, and then I'd fly over the Irish Sea and just drop them down into it. That's it. There's a couple of hundred gone at a time for what they do. Do you know what I mean? That's all they deserve.
I was a child when I saw Bang Bang playing cowboys and Indians with the cops.
Cowboys and Indians. I tell you something for nothing. Those little revolvers that they had back then. Let me tell you something. Some of them coppers are fucking class aim. I remember a guy that was in an off license up Airway, and I was standing across the road watching this, and he was set across the bonnet of his car, and he fired in through that shop, and your man came out and dropped that shotgun he did, and because he just missed him, and he shot through the doorway into behind him. Do you know what I mean? And I remember the guy saying, "He just missed me." Bollocks to that. Never forget that fear on his face. On a ship it'd be too good. Can you, like, Neil, can you just imagine the fear of being, like, say, 10,000 feet in the air without a parachute? You'll probably die before you hit the water, but even if you didn't, when you hit the water, you're going to sink, and you can't scream for help underwater.
Break your legs.
My sick little head. No, my sick little head. No, they'd have concrete shoes, wouldn't they?
Sorry, well, yeah. The minute if you're dropped from the plane, man, into the water, you're gonna die anyway.
Oh yeah, so it's a great death sentence. Imagine them up there going up in the plane, knowing that that's going to happen to them. The fear in the heart before they even drop. That's all Judge Nolan and his little party of pedos need. That's a my eyes, you know what I mean? Fuck it, you know what I mean? It might as well be straight about it.
So there's a bridge in America that they all know people that want to unalive themselves. They jump off this bridge, and now these put nets around the whole bridge just to stop people jumping off. So I can't even remember. It's some famous bridge in America.
I can tell you something that's a bit more closer to home. There's a place called Bangor over in Wales. Yeah,
Golden Gate. That's the one. San Francisco. That's the one.
In Bangor in Wales, there's one there, right? And it's the suicide capital of the UK, believe it or not, and especially for young people. And I don't understand that either. Why our strengths haven't gone to looking at our young people to stop them from committing suicide.
Yeah.
Like, how bad is life for them young people at the moment if they feel that they can't turn to anybody or get help?
Be honest, man, in my opinion, I think it's worse these days for young people than it was in our time. In our time, we could probably get the social welfare at 18 years old. Now, these young people aren't getting any money. They're not giving opportunities. So what else are they going to do? They go out there and they're selling drugs just to get money, just to get by. Because they're told to live off their parents.
No, it's not that. It's the fucking... No, I'll tell you what that is, Mousy. That's another story for another day. But what I will say to it is, you have the older generation turn around to the kids and saying,
what you said is kind of right, because if you go back to fucking Leo Varadkar, when he said that it wasn't the government's responsibility to look after the elderly, and which it fucking was the government's responsibility, because it's the government's responsibility because they say, like, all their parents all would have been well looked after, like when it came to the working class, they didn't give a bonnet so they got older.
Yeah.
And they tried to put it all onto the family to take the burden on it.
It just shows you, doesn't it? It's like, look what we're up against, man. Like, fucking hell.
Like, just for instance, just say your child, Giddy, when he grows up, he's going to be 18 years old. Just say he's still living in the gaff. He has to live off you and your wife still at 18 years old. Do you know what I mean? The government's not going to give him any hand. If you're earning enough money, that's it.
Like, again, I'd say this very clear. I think, like, the people of this country, when they come out and march against the government and things start to change, it'll change better for your children. Like I said about the education programs in this country, it should be from age 12, you learn about the rules of the road. You learn, it should be mandatory that you get your passport and your driving license by the time you hit 16, and your passport when you're 18. Mandatory that you get them two things, okay? That you got a full driving license and you got a passport. When you leave school, you're either given an option to go for a trade and learn that trade and excel in that trade, or join the army or join the Garda, right? A lot of people go, oh no, don't join the Garda. That's what I'm saying. Just an incentive for people when they leave school. None of this, like, don't sit back and go, oh, I don't want my son to be a guard. I don't want him to be in the army. They'll decide themselves what they want to do. But if they go to school like they do, as they currently do, if they turn around and go, oh, I've got my GCSEs, or I've got me leaving cert, or I've got my junior cert, or whatever may be the case, right? And they have to do it in a specific way, right? If they turn around and say, I have to get my driving license, I've no choice, otherwise I'm going to fail my junior cert. I have to get my passport, or otherwise I'm going to fail my junior cert, part of it, yeah? I have to get a trade, or else join the army or the Garda, or I have to join the hospital, become a trainee nurse. I have to go to medical college. I have to do these things, because if I don't do any one of these things until I'm 30 years of age, I can't get social welfare in this country.
Right, kind of agree with you in a sense, because back when we were that age, man, 18, just say 18, coming out of school and all that. We weren't pressurized to do anything. But I literally didn't start working until I was
Long
21
shot,
to 32, man. I,
long
I,
shot.
I, I
The
just didn't want to work.
workshops in the school wouldn't work, right? So, I'm not being bad. That is a great idea, right? But what I'd say is, if you pick, like, if you have 30 kids within a school, right, and it comes to that, they're 16, 17 years of age, and just say for argument's sake, right, you've got a garage that's down the road, and you say to the garage, you say, look, you're going to get nearly 1 year free labour out of these young lads. But for that 1 year free labour, while they're in school, so they're doing 2-3 days on in an actual garage, working with cars, learning how it works, diagnostics, the whole shebang, and they know what they're looking at, okay? At the end of, by the time they're 17, they'll be in their second year of an apprenticeship. By the time they're 18, they'll be in their third year of the apprenticeship. So they'll only have to do 1 more year when they leave school at 18, okay? Which will be qualified mechanic, okay? Qualified wood, qualified electrician, plumber, gas engineer, whatever. That's what they choose, a curriculum of loads of different trades. And all these companies will benefit from it because they'll get a year's free labour through the schools of these 10 lads that are joining their company. Remember, they'd have to have their full license, they'd have to have their passports or their identity, and their driving license would be 101 definite. Yeah.
But you think all the opportunities that these young lads are supposed to be getting, you know, after they've just said they've done their first or second year, they've qualified or whatever, and they're going into their first apprentice, probably proper job. Do you think that opportunity is not there for them now anymore? Because these migrants are coming in and taking the low paid jobs. They're
No,
taking
hold on.
these all
What I'm
those jobs.
saying is, no, what I'm saying is like, if you've got, like, if the government turns around to you, right, just say for argument's sake, just to give you an example, right, say you say, I want to be a solicitor, or I want to be a doctor, yeah, and to put you through to become a doctor and to put you through to become a solicitor, okay, it costs you, say, €15,000 per year, right, for the next 5 or 7 years, okay, to get you fully qualified as one of them two high paid jobs, right? So the government turns around and says, well, no, if you're going to do that, we'll pay for that for you. Every year we'll pay that fully for you, your digs, your education to get you become a doctor. But there's one thing you have to give us in return. You have to give us 10 years of your life working in
Yeah,
Ireland.
that's something that now they mightn't agree to. I mean,
But why
because
not?
no,
Why not?
if you were like one of those kids and you came out of college, there, the government's had to
No,
sorting it all out for you. They had to pay
no,
£15,000. Listen, just listen for a second. Had to pay £15,000 a year. Do you think? I think that they look at Australia and they say to themselves, or look at Switzerland and they say to themselves, "There's a better opportunity over there for me."
no,
Do you
no,
mean
no,
there's
no, no,
more
no,
money?
you're not.
The
No, you're
house
not
is
understanding what I'm
cheaper.
saying. No, nothing to
I
do with
get
that.
you. I get 100% get what you're saying.
No, I know you know what I'm saying. But what I'm saying to you is, when they go to work, say, in St. James's Hospital, for argument's sake, as a fully pledged doctor, okay, they know they signed a contract. Either they have to pay the 15 grand back for the last 7 years that the government gave them, or they get that completely free, but they have to give 10 years service here in Ireland as a doctor. Okay. Now remember, they'll be 27 by the time they qualify, and they'll be 37 by the time that they can leave Ireland if they want in a further 10 years from then.
Yeah,
So they'll
I
be
get
still quite
100%
young.
what you're saying. I know what you're saying, but I'm still saying that no, it, that's like holding somebody ransom. You know what I mean? Really? You know what I mean? They're
No,
saying
not
10
really.
years.
Not really, because you're after getting a full education. Like, if you were to do that off your own back with your family, okay. Hence the reason why so many people don't go through
But
full
I think
education.
that that education opportunity should be there in any way.
Not for them, because you see, them sort of things are very expensive to do and train somebody, right?
I know, yeah,
Whereas,
as you were saying, £15,000 a year, but that gives them the skills that they need. But they're not going to do that, man.
yeah, I know, but yeah, I know they're not going to do it. But this is what I'm saying. This is the change that we need in this country, and it's the same. Like, our kids are the most valuable thing on this planet to us at the moment, and everything that we bring to the plate for them, yeah, is going to further our country on and on and on. And like I've always said, like, if you get a bunch of kids that are leaving college and they turn around one day and they say, just for argument's sake, this is just this is going off kind of like what I'm saying. And he say, we're going to design a car and we're going to call it Air. Yeah, like as in Ireland, Air. Yeah. And we're going to design it that it's Irish bought parts, Irish engine, Irish this, Irish that. And that car goes into mass manufacturing in this country and gets sold across Europe on left-hand drives and right-hand drives. And even the Yanks decide to take them. Do you not understand what that would do for our country's economy? To have our own thing. Like they say, we need tanks, we need planes. Why can't we build tanks and planes? Why can't we do them things? Because we've never been given that opportunity. We've never went as far as looking at these opportunities. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's what needs to be done.
Yeah, but obviously America now they're funding their space adventures now, man, by people's taxes.
I'm not talking about space adventures. I'm talking about Mousy.
No. Wait, sorry, I'm not going off, but that's just an example. Where over here in Ireland, we haven't got enough taxes that come in that would fund an army, fund all this.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. Right? So,
stuff like that.
Yeah, well, hold on. This is what I'm trying to say. If if you had to do 2 years service when you left, right? If say you don't want to take a trade, right, and you don't want to become a doctor, nurse, or whatever it may be, you have no other option. You have to do 2 years service in the army here, right? Now, if you have, like, just say 500,000, well, not 500,000, I'm exaggerating there a bit. Say we have 100,000 children, well, not children, 17, 18-year-olds that are leaving school that go into the army, right, for 2 years service. And even if 10% of them say, I actually like this, I'm going to stick with this, you've still got 10,000 soldiers for that first year that's still in that army. And the following year, even if you got 5% and so on, you'd have a formidable army in this country. Do you understand what I'm saying?
We've always been neutral, and that's the way we kind of want to stay, isn't it?
No, it's not about being neutral.
Tiny little island. If this island ever gets invaded, we're done for in 20 minutes.
It's not about being neutral, right? What my point is of that, right? Having our own tanks, our own planes, and our own defences, and our own air defences, and own navy, air force, and the whole shebang, right? Is when anybody outside of that looks at Ireland and wants to threaten Ireland in any shape or form, they'll go, you do realise they have an army of, like, they have about 6 million people that live on their island, and they have an army that's over 100,000 plus that are that real proper soldiers, yeah? And they have air defence, they have jets, they have tanks, they've got everything. They're a very fucking strong force. You don't want to really fuck with them. Look at Israel. Nobody wants to fuck with Israel.
Isn't that why we have NATO? You know what I mean?
No, we don't need NATO. That's what I'm saying. We don't have NATO. We're not part of NATO. We don't need it. We don't want NATO. We don't want Europe.
But we would have the protection of them if anything happened to us. I know.
No, we don't. No, we don't. We don't have any protection from NATO. The only people that will ever help us is the RAF, believe it or not, in Britain. They'll send up their planes if anybody comes up over their airspace. And they have done for many, many years. But
yeah,
NATO,
but that's only for our own security, though, Giddy.
Yeah, because it's so close. But here's the other side of it. If NATO cared about us so much and Europe cared about us so much, they can give Ukraine a few hundred tanks. They can give them jet fighters. They can give them the whole shebang, any weapons they want. Why haven't they plugged Ireland with loads of them weapons and air defence and everything else? Why have they said fortify Ireland, give them what they want if they cared about it so much?
America did offer it back in the 90s. They offered when the JFK came over. They wanted to buy up the West Coast, like, put a big naval base there. And they were going to supply like fucking like air support and fucking their own airplanes and all. But the neutrality said they couldn't do it. So even like Ireland is a highly sought after naval base because it's on the edge of the Atlantic.
Yeah. Yeah, but like what my point is, I don't want a foreign entity to run our naval base. I want our Irish to run our naval base.
Well, that was back in the 90s though, Giddy. But look, when Obama came, he was here for 1 day and everything fucking changed after that.
I'm just
everything
saying,
changed after that.
Imagine this for a second, right? Just imagine we had, say, something like I don't know, 10 destroyers, right? We had one aircraft carrier, and we had, say, 6 submarines, right? We would be on the fucking, like, on the table there, like, don't fuck with Ireland. Do you know what I mean? Because they are seriously well defended.
But that means then we would have to go into active war, which
No.
lifting the neutrality. No, but sorry, but lifting the neutrality will give all them things that you're asking for.
No. You see, the thing is, right?
NATO will have to. They will have to actually help and like that's going to be part of that thing. Watch, they'll start giving over tanks.
No, I think personally, right? If it was the case being, it's like a push come to shove. But nobody wants to ever push for Ireland anyway. But what my point is, if it was ever to be pushed that, they'd have to sit back in their chair and look at it and go, they got a really serious good defence there. Like, look what we can do. Look what we done back in the 60s, right?
But look what's happening now. Look what's happening now without a shop being fired. You know, we're being fucking taken over. Like, people, it's not migrants coming here, it's an invasion. I don't care if people call me a conspiracy theorist or whatever. It's a fucking invasion. They know what they're doing coming here. They know they can buy up the houses. They know they can buy up the lands. Only a matter of time before it's theirs. Before they're sitting in the fucking doll. And we're the fucking lapdogs. We're just the fucking migrants in our own land. You know, the whole Palestinian thing will kick off here. Oh, yous were all supporting the Jews for years. So, you know, it's our turn now.
It's all that. Yeah, I get what you're saying there on support. The one there before it as well, a dictatorship use our army against us. Unfortunately, that had never happened. Like, you don't realise it, but the people who are serving in our army over here would never turn against his people. And regardless of orders, they just wouldn't do it. But these foreigners that are coming into the country that are being allowed in with their beards and a little bit of hair portraying around their fucking belly. Let me tell you something. When I was in, if you had any hair on your face, you were fucked. You get bollocked, you would. Do you know what I mean? These cunts are going to come in with beards from a different country, different models completely to us. And then literally, they have no qualms about killing you and your family. They don't care. You don't mean nothing to them. Can you imagine an Irish person coming into your family home and doing that to you? And a soldier at that? Not a chance. He's not going to do it. No matter how much orders he's given.
But I just said they're doing it in a peaceful way now. They're trying to bring people in that they're not into people's family homes. That's what they're trying to do. Like now, if you're single, you're left there, you're a widow, you're in the house, and it's a 3-bedroom house, they'll ask you to downgrade, as you said before. As you mentioned before.
Look, if they do end up taking over the government, it's going to be like, oh, sure, people will come and say, well, we helped Jews come in here. And they'll be told out straight, you fought on the wrong fucking side. It's too late. It's over. Once they take, that's it. Once they take over, I'm telling you, man, there'll be nothing. There's other Muslim countries now that was Christian. Just look at what happened to them. That's all you have to do is look at what happened to them.
Yeah. Listen, I won't go into that, Sully, but I understand what you're saying there. We don't want to mention any of that crap there about that thing that you said, the last word. Yeah. Yeah, I understand what you're saying there, but that's because everybody was that was smoke and mirrors. Everybody was worried about that thing, so I'm not going to mention that because we don't want to talk about because it gets the banned. Yeah. So unfortunately, I won't mention that about it.
But I get you, 100%.
Yeah, we do get you 100% because this is what I'm saying. Like we're looking in the wrong direction. In other words, like, can you imagine an Irish soldier walking into your sitting room and opening up fire on your family because they're told to do so? An actual Irish-born soldier. I can't ever believe that would happen. But you get somebody that comes in. If you get somebody that comes in from North Africa and has been in the army for 2 or 3 years and he's told to go in there and he'll happily go in and grape and butcher and everything, wouldn't give a flying fuck.
I was telling you what the stat is over in France, wasn't I, for the tax this year. Like we're only getting hit in May, and it's been 129 attacks in France.
No, the army has never turned against us as far as I'm aware. Like in
But
my
Eddie
day,
on
they
our
used to,
side.
like in
Eddie
my
really,
day, they used to. Sorry.
Eddie really on our side. Eddie, no, Eddie just
Well, you see, in my day,
another
it
government
was a little
pawn.
bit different. In my day, it was a little bit different. Now, see, it was like we used to do patrols with, like cash and transit and things like that.
Yeah,
Very serious events that might be happening up the border and things like that. But that's it. Do you know what I mean? We didn't do really much anything else, and they still kind of twiddle their fingers today. To be fair, they don't really do anything other than peace treaties and things like that. Do you know what I mean? There is other things that happen within it, but I don't think any soldier is allowed to talk about it, to be fair, because you're sworn to secrecy as well with some things. Talk about the censoring
we're full of
people.
sellouts. Yeah, most of that stuff now. They're all sellouts. Like what they fought for now, they're selling it out.
And censoring the conversation.
And why have they not done anything to stop this plantation? Robert's asking you that question, Giddy.
As in the army to stop the plantation.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Well, they got 7,000 soldiers, and they're leaving more than they're starting up. Do you know what I mean? I don't understand this. What people are saying about censoring the conversation. No, I don't want to talk about that other thing about what happened 3 or 4 years ago. Not interested in it because it bans the live. Why would I want to talk about it? It's not censoring anything. Just don't want to get the live banned. Unless I'm picking that up wrong. Stop me if I'm wrong. There's plenty of other lives if you want to talk about that stuff. You know what I mean? And that's being just straight up.
Sure, you have a big platform on TikTok, Giddy. That subject can be brought up on TikTok, no problem.
Yeah, and TikTok you could talk about it, but not on here
No.
because YouTube don't like it.
Who still believes that we won World War II and saved Europe? Do you want to answer that
No,
before
lady
Eddie
there.
really?
It's not on here. It's not. You are Giddy. The army will turn on us like dogs, and if you think differently,
Or please, Sally.
well, I'm only giving my opinion from serving. I don't think they would, but that's your opinion as well, Sarsa. To be fair, if you believe that, like nobody really knows, do they? So I can't really answer on that because they haven't done that as of yet, have they?
What was it with that year in the army, Giddy?
1994 I started.
And what you served how many years?
5 years.
Was it 1999, was it? So yeah, that's
99, 2000 I left
26
something like
years
that.
ago. You think the army has changed now?
Yeah, of course it's changed. Back then we had more soldiers. Back then we didn't have the right clothes or the right boots. We didn't have any decent equipment or anything like that. Now they've got everything thrown at them, kind of like best uniforms, best weapons, best everything. Do you know what I mean? It was a little bit different back then. It was a bit more hardship, to be fair, but it was a good buzz and good people.
But why hasn't the army stopped this plantation? I mean,
See, I lived in a different era probably back then, and that's probably hence the reason why Sarsa and like you're thinking like I would know different now. You have to bear in mind that's nearly 40 years ago, more when I was there. So I'm just going back from when I served. Do you know what I mean? Not
that's what I said. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Sergio, from the very start. I was saying that all the heirs in a pawn. That was the army. They're just another government pawn. They're being used. Same as the Garda. Half
yeah,
them haven't got a
possibility.
fucking half of these Garda haven't got a really clue. Like some are, I don't know how we even got into the Garda to tell you the truth, man.
Well, to be fair, they were taking the turning like air intelligence to the army, weren't they? They were taking it, like using the army as air intelligence, like for cyber fucking fraud and all that sort of stuff. They were taking using the army for that, weren't they? Or something like that effect, I remember.
Yeah, I'm not sure now. I don't know.
Saoirse, you're the oldest person in this chat. Okay, I don't want to know your age because you're a woman for starters, and I don't want to slap in the face. But I'm 49, and anyway.
Yeah, the army will do whatever is requested. Yeah, just another pawn, definitely on a little chessboard.
The army will do what they're going to do. The government will do what they're going to do. But at the same time, the people need to stand up against it. And if you don't stand up against it, well, nothing's going to change, is it? If you keep on letting it go on, boy, that's what's going to happen.
Never thought you were 54, Sean. I thought you were in your 30s. That's just me guessing.
Yeah, I'd say it is. So, do you know what? You're maybe 100% correct there, because I do know people that couldn't be served, and I still know people that are like after leaving and things like that. And things have changed, like anything, like any job, things will change.
He gets choked down in the background and was live one day and mentioned the jibs. No names, of course.
Who's that?
Jerry's saying that. Oh yeah, man, Jesus, it was some bleeding day, man, today. Like, fair play to everybody that stayed. There was when I got there was only 4 people. And then I went live and I was just showing the building and showing the area, how close it was to Woody's and how it was kind of hidden down some road. And then I went up so as soon as I went off the live, there was speeches happening. So I have it all recording anyway. I'll stick it up later on. But there was speeches happening. I said, Jesus, the minute I go off the bleeding light, he started talking. All he hears the microphone going. I said, Jesus Christ, huh? But yeah, it was good, man. 15 people, 20 people turned up, probably something like that.
Chalky, that's correct. That's what they used to do up on the border of near Cavan, and Enniskillen, that sort of direction, and Newry as well. They done that up to the late 80s and 90s, I think. They only patrolled around at the 90s. It wasn't really anything for unarmed guard. But I'm not talking about that tonight in any way. But yeah, we've had our own little things that we've done over the years.
Jerry is YouTube. They can strike for anything, any moment soon. Won't be able to mention the Jews.
Well, look, Russia could strike at any moment, given and we're all bollocks, aren't we? If you want to put it that way.
That's why I think by us building an army here, I think that's in probably inviting trouble. Do you know what I mean?
Well, we can't go undefended, can we either?
Well, just stay neutral. You know what I mean? Once nobody tries to invade us, I mean, we seem to be all right at the moment.
Right, if we stayed neutral, right, and we had no defence, and they decided, let's go over there. They don't have any defence. Don't worry about that. What you do then?
But I think if any army, like, just say just say, I'm only saying, for example, France wanted to take over Ireland. They'd have it done in 20 minutes, man. The country be taken over.
And
We'd be out with our garden rakes, man. That's what we'd be doing. Out with our garden rakes and our pitchforks. And
how many's heading down to Cork? We haven't clocked in the numbers yet, but we would be thinking that. I'm praying that there's more than 10,000 people going down.
There's a bus from Tala going. There's 3 of us going in the car. There's a few. We're going like, there's a few cars going, isn't it? 5 cars or something.
Yeah. And there's 2 buses coming down from Drogheda. There's some going over from Limerick. There's some going over from Galway. Some going from Offaly. These are buses, by the way. So quite a few people that we know that are going.
Man. The weather's supposed to get better as well.
Yeah, we're supposed to have a heat wave, aren't we?
Supposedly, yeah.
Back like the 26th. Do you know, I was bleeding baked on the 26th. Yeah. I was bleeding. We got the sun. Like, God looked down on us that day. Had to. Do you know what I mean? Got bleeding burnt. Bleeding peeling the skin off my head for a bleeding week. I was.
We have to get a few bottles since Boots can't drink.
I'm just being honest. People are here for the truth and conversation. We all got taken
I'll
down.
go to Cork. I'll have a look at
Nothing
you.
bad.
You're gonna head down now this hour, yeah?
And this channel, and it's a channel easy to make. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, Lady of Air, but we don't want to do that. That's our option to do that. We don't want to do that. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just telling you honestly, we just don't want to do that. We don't want to talk about that. And it's not about like that we don't want to tell the truth. We just don't want to talk about that. We're happy enough to talk about what we're talking about.
Because that's 2020 news when you think about it. I know it's all built up from that. That's 2020 news. It's 2025 now. And it's all about the
We're not
immigration.
bothered about the subs. Like, guys, we're not bothered about the subs. We're not bothered about, like, what we're bothered about is that people hear the truth of what's going on in this country. Yeah. And regardless of what happened 3 years ago, that's nothing to do with us, and we don't want that to do with it.
See you down there, Neil. Are you going down, Finbar? I think Finbar drives, isn't he?
Finbar. I'd say that we've meet loads of people on the way. It was very difficult to meet people along the way when on the 26th as well. I would have loved to meet more people, see people on the day, but Jesus Christ, I wasn't expecting a crowd like that. Even when I turned up to the Garden of Remembrance, I was like looking at it and going, Jesus Christ. Because usually,
see you down there, Sean.
At the start of the Garden of Remembrance, when there used to be protests, you'd see about probably 10 or 15 people standing outside the gates. And it's like they all rose from the dead and came out of nowhere at the Garden of Remembrance. But this one that was just gone, Jesus Christ.
He's bringing people, Paul is, Neil is bringing people body money things. Yeah, channel I won't say more.
I'm talking about 1990s. I'm not talking about 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's just that, Paul, you have to understand, we just don't want to talk about that subject, and here we get Hispanic, because it's just, it is a bit pointless. If we have another platform that we can talk about that subject, but not many people even go back down looking at that subject anymore. Like, people that have moved on. I mean, it's 2025 now. And there's just more things to worry about. The country's getting worse with all this immigration. It'd be nice to see you again, Finbar. Oh, you met them all, did you say it before, yeah? Did Finbar say he was coming down, yeah? Did I miss that?
Can we have hands up in the comments who's actually turning up in Cork? Like, just a hand up. Just put your hand up if you're going to Cork on the 7th. Just to see who's actually going on this actual platform. Understandably, there's people that are probably from like different countries possibly on here. So understandably, they won't be.
Yeah. I know there's a few people traveling across from the UK. There's a few people coming from the UK. I'm not sure if it's the 7th now, the one on the 7th or the 22nd that they said to me. But they want to come across from the UK. Yeah, I get that part, yeah. There's a good few people going anyway. So, you going toward it, yeah? Fair play to you.
Come on, hands up, everybody. Anybody that's coming, hands up. Put your hand up if you're coming. Let's see how many people are actually going to turn up and go. I'd love to meet up, which is there if he's do end up going. Or even join that convoy if you're going driving or whatever. More the merrier.
Yeah. That's it. To fix the thing first. Fix the thing is to recognise it. Yeah. Agreed to Eddie. You might as well, Saoirse. Do it live. Why not? That's what it's all about. What's the stairs have quiet? We'll bring him up. Send out the link for him.
Kevin's been there for some time now.
Has he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Jonas, so you're going down, aren't you, as well? Yeah. Oh, man,
I think this bus is going from your end, Kev. Am I correct in saying? That's directed at Kev Coyle there. Is the actually buses going from your end, Kev?
What the?
Buses going from your end, up your end, where you're from.
Hold on.
Say again?
Yeah, there. I had the other one playing in the background so I could hear you twice. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, is the buses going from your side as well, yeah?
No, what is pay out?
I think so, yeah. I think there's two. I think there's definitely one, possibly two. I'm not quite sure. Like, I'm not going on the bus anyway.
Are you piling with somebody yet?
I'm not going.
You're not going, right? Fair enough.
Oh. How are you getting them?
I'm getting Mr. T's plane.
I feel you're going.
No, we have 3-4 cars coming with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to convoy. A few people I know.
Any of the crew from South Dublin says no go.
I'm not too sure.
Actually, I haven't been talking to any of them. I'm struck one or two of them are missing.
I must not answer that.
Yeah.
No, if the idea, if they're not, it doesn't really matter. It's here and there, does it?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, all right, Katrina. How are you?
Excuse me.
Can you explain how to get to the coffee cup, please? What's that mean?
She means buy a cup of coffee. It's a link on the page.
On the main page. Should be a
when
link
we finish, you'll see the link. You will. It doesn't really matter, Katrina, if you can't. It doesn't really matter. I've said this before to you. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And anyway, I can't wait because
I was listening to Derek Bloy earlier on the space. He's expecting a very big crowd.
Well, I'll put it this way to you. We've already had, I'd say, approximately 15, 16 good tracks from the lefties. Not torn up or else.
Listen, I'll give you a laugh, right? Every single protest I've been to in Cork, right? I've been to loads of them. You get the abuse, don't you start posting about it online in the weeks and days leading up to it and all, right? You start getting abuse and all you do. And then once you get down there, you don't get the abuse. And then once you're on the train home, posting your videos, your pictures and all from throughout the day, that's when you start getting the abuse again. You know what I mean?
They put a picture up on me on TikTok, they did. And it's not that I'm fucking chasing with my belly outwards, Kev. And you have this fascination about my belly that like you think it gets to me or something. Yeah. And it's like, this is giddy. But they put Gav up there with me as well, Gav Pepper. Yeah. And, Fog and who else is on it?
Gav gets dragged into everything, doesn't he?
I know, but he's not. He doesn't really do anything at all.
Oh.
I get what you're saying, Katrina, but that's what I'm saying. It's on the main page. Like when you look at the actual page, when the live stops, you'll see a link and it says "Buy me a coffee." Just click on it.
Stop the begging.
No, the girl is asking me, and I've told her twice not to be doing it.
I'm only messing.
They're all windy, definitely. Down Cork, yeah.
Yeah, they are. That's like 100%. Like they're all windy cunts. We keep saying it to the boys, like, you know, with their gas cunts, they are like, they give you the abuse, they give you all the stick in the wood, like, but they don't actually.
Well, if they see the cunt, I'm bringing it down with me. Like, I never thought in a million years that these would be interested at all.
Yeah.
Like, and like, I swear to God, I just said it to one of them. Yeah, like I grew up with him, and he turned around to me, and goes, "Why do you go to them?" And I says, "Yeah," and he says, "Well, I always wanted to go to one, but I didn't know anybody that goes to them." Do you know what I mean? And I says, "Well, come with me." So he rings me back then a few days later. He says, It's all right if I bring me mates. So he has like 3 cars there that he's going to fill up. Now, to be
make
fair,
sure you're not bleeding, getting into a car and you won't be coming back.
yeah, mad. These, like, honest to God, Kev, like, you wouldn't really do that to this.
Yeah.
It'd be very, very stupid move. Like,
Well,
I just didn't think in a million years that they would. And it's like certain entities from another place that's nearby to me, they're going as well.
yeah.
Yeah. So, like,
It's about time, man. We're always outnumbered down in Cork. Every single protest we've been to down there, like we've been heavily outnumbered. You know what I mean? Look, there's a long shot there. Sure, Cork is the queer capital of Europe. 100%. When you see the amount of lefties that be down there next week, lads.
You're probably outnumbered us.
If you haven't been to Cork car protest before, lads, you're in for a shock.
I love it though. I love it. I love it just seeing that face. I love it.
And you're in for a shock.
Like, why would like anybody be afraid of them freaks? Do you know what I mean?
There's nothing to be afraid of. Like, we're just waiting to see the amount of them.
You've seen it down Waterford that time, Giddy. The amount of them that were down there.
Yeah, but
they'll all see all the Waterford ones. They'll all be there in Cork as well.
Yeah, but hold on a minute. Waterford wasn't really organised well. I was talking to the lad that runs that group.
No, but you don't understand, bro. Yeah, it's because Derek Bloy has been so vocal about this shit for years, right? They absolutely fucking hate him. Yeah, they despise him like more than any of us. Like, trust me, like, you know what I mean?
I said it here before, right? I have no love for Derek, yeah. But what I will say, I love the fact that he keeps on trying.
Do you know that one with the little L one with the grey hair that was running amok down in Waterford, the mad lefty, I won Bernie.
Yeah.
We were sitting at the cap. So me and Evelyn, with Derek's sister, me, Evelyn, Mark Sutz, who the fuck else was with us? A couple of others were sat at the corner at the cafe having the fucking coffee and the joint or whatever, yeah. And she tried to walk past us, but she copped us off. And she done a U-turn right loads of them. They all kept running through they were running through Cork City trying to get away from us and all that. Oh, stop. It was fucking gas, man. Because they're all out when all the guard out there. As soon as the guard go away then after the protest, etc., like, they seem to forget, like, it's a small city, you know what I mean? And we all go mixing in the same place. So surely
to be fair, I won't take no prisoners. If anybody opens them out to me anywhere,
there'll probably be like there'll be, well, not probably, there definitely will be like a few of them sat in the pub witches afterwards and all, like, no witches, like,
I'll give you something here, right? On the last, remember the big riot, right?
Yeah.
This certain place in Cambridge, yeah. Yeah, I think you know who I'm talking about anyway. But
yeah,
anyway,
on.
One of these lefty. Remember he gave that lefty a bit of a body.
Yeah.
Do you remember that, Mousy?
Yeah.
This guy does not think, and if you do want to think of doing that to him, well, my God, are you gonna wish you didn't? Yeah. It doesn't matter who the fuck you are, you're fucked. That's his.
When you hit your man a dig that night, your man blamed Tinker on it. Your man says, he hit me a dig.
I know, and then he fucking nearly volleyed him over the fucking railing into the fucking liffey.
Tinker's a mad cunt.
No, do you know who's a mad cunt as well? Patrick. Like, you get what you see with him. He's a lovely guy, he is now, but you get what you see. He doesn't mess about.
Who's Patrick?
You know, Patrick. Yeah.
Boyka Patrick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 100%.
Yeah, like, you know, he sits down and has cups of tea.
I was locked up with him.
Well, here, come here. His friend that's coming sits down and has cups of tea with that family. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he used to knock around with little Joe Ducey and all in the Joy, right? And I was in Clover Hill with little Joe Ducey for months, yeah. And they used to always play pool together, a little farmer outfit from Mayo. Do you know him? Did you ever hear of him? No, Joe Ducey.
No.
I heard his name said before, yeah.
He got jailed for allegedly knocking down a copper, right? But he didn't. There's a copper at a checkpoint or a protest or something. And he jumped out of the way of the car, but all he had on him was like still images. So obviously with still images, like, it makes you look guilty, you know what I mean? Because 1 minute you're standing in front of the car, the next minute you jump out of the way, but the next still images you're on the ground. So I mean, the car driving away, like, he got 3.5 years. He got 3.5 years for it. He did a little outfit for Mayo. And I went to the Joy then. And I used to see him on D-Wing all the time. And I was like, oh, you know, there's Joe, when we became friends now. But yeah, I'm Patrick then, because I was in the live with you was the first time, about, remember, 2-3 years ago. And I was like, looking at Patrick, and I was like, we fucking know this come from somewhere. Like, so I mean, I was like, wait, and that's why I heard him going on about being locked up and all. And I was like, how many you locked up? And he was like, oh, yeah, and I was like, why was that saying to him? You know what I mean? I was like,
not too much information yet. I know what you're talking about because I remember that conversation.
You know what I mean? I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, fucking no, I knew you, man. Yeah, but the first time Joe Ducey seen me in the Joy, I was falling in from the yard. I was down me bin.
And you know what?
Kevin, it's weird looking at you, man. Oh, tell you.
You know, talking to you know, like Pat, like
yeah.
The funny thing is about Pat, right? You know when he does be there telling all them fucking idiots that like he has Ballyfermot behind him. He does, literally.
They don't realise it. Yeah, the people don't realise it, man. Tell it.
And he's the nicest fucking guy. He's had so much pressure on his plate. He's lost his son last Christmas.
Remember
he lost his mother there only a couple of weeks ago. Do you know what I mean?
Folks,
and he's just trying to, you know, fit his life back together. But at the same time, he's mad for the protests. He loves it. He wants to go to every one of them.
Look, Jerry's, what's that? Jerry's son, Mick Joe, was some man to fight the corruption. Yeah, he's part of that ACT, the anti-corruption task force, and all. Him, fucking Ben Gilroy. That's another one who was locked up with as well. Ben Gilroy.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah, he got 30 days for contempt of court. He did, yeah. He was having to look through my. He used to get his haircut outside myself. I was a cleaner, and had an extension lead and all that stuff. So the barber used to come down off the trees to the tools, and Ben used to get me. Ben used to use my cell, the plugs in my cell to get his haircut, and he was like, "What are you in for?" And he obviously were from the same area, in and around, like, do you know what I mean? And he was having a look at me, wasn't to me charges and all that shit. He was like, oh, I might be able to get you off. I was like, Ben, I'm on the pig's back, man. I'm out the gap. I've only a few months left. You know what I mean? He was like, but still, they could get out a few months here. He was like, yeah, I suppose, yeah. I mean, he had to look through and he's like, nah, they have you banked the rights on everything. I said, told us already.
To be fair, if it was in any way a situation in them places down there, and like, being honest, right, if I had a choice of who would be there around me, and I know it'd be solid, it'd be Bob, Marley, and Is What It Is. Yeah, because you just know. Yeah, you just know for a fact that Hatton comes in your direction. They're not going to go running nowhere.
Derek Lloyd is getting hustle in Cork a lot. Yeah, he is. In fairness, Derek is getting a lot of hustle.
I don't think he'll get hassle after this for some reason.
And the Mayo Tree, it's going to get more hassle out of this, I think. This is going to be the biggest one Cork has ever had, you might come. So
that's what I'm saying. I think that like the fear then will be put into them as like is as big as it is.
No, man, it's not why, because they know, right, it's not all the Cork people. So they know, right, that most of that crowd is only coming down to Cork for the day, you know what I mean? Obviously, there'd be a few thousand, hoping, a few thousand from Cork, like from all around Cork, but not mostly like where Derek is, like, you know what I mean? So it's it should be interesting to say the least. Like, I'm looking forward to seeing the videos and all the live streams and shit like that.
They're gonna recognise you down there, Giddy.
Oh, stop!
You know it's Giddy fucking mile away.
I don't care. Like I've said this before, right? Like I didn't bring these people with me for no reason, because I just know for a fact that these don't like fuck around. And it doesn't matter if you're male or female either. It doesn't give a fuck. I've seen what things have done in the past. Do you know what I mean? And I said it to them beforehand. He said, you won't get away with that because the guard will rip you. He said, don't care. It's only in jail for a few months, isn't it?
That's what you're dealing with. A lot of the people in this movement are not afraid of jail, but the so-called leaders are.
No, these are genuine, not like one of them is just out after the 7th.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, so, but a lot of the people who claim to be leaders of this movement and want to be leaders and all, they always say it joking to people, like, you know, when I mention leaders and all, they always jump in and say, yeah, they all want to be leaders until they're getting carried off to jail. I mean,
like even my cousin wants to go. He does with his mate. Is like his bro that's in the jail there already, but he wants to go with his friends. And I said, like, he's only looking and saying, any nice cars down there? And I mean, what the fuck goes through your head? I'm not going for that. We do think a different way to us.
There was a lot of young lads getting down at the protest there today, hanging around, waiting for something to happen. You know what I mean? There's about 10 young lads. Don't know who they were now.
Ready to run up.
Yeah, they were ready for something to happen, but nothing happened. It was a peaceful protest today as well.
And did anybody do a talk down there?
Yeah, somebody did a talk. Yeah, somebody. I don't know who it was.
I was on Thinkers Live. I was telling Tinker to go up and talk, and you wouldn't.
No, Paul wanted you to talk as well, Mousy. Paul done a talk, as far as I know. And
he
was
Paul
asking
done a talk.
Yeah, he was
no, I
asking
didn't want to.
I told him that you're not controversial like that, yeah, really.
No, I'm just trying to highlight it for people. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm out there doing. I know
what you do. Yeah, I know what you do. And you do put it out there, and you get it out there nice and clear for people.
Yeah, to be honest, I think I've woken up a few people over the years.
So you say that the crowd are very different down there.
Make myself up,
The crowd are very tribal. Well, we're very tribal in Dublin as well. Remember, they have to come to Dublin at one time or other. And it only Dublin's a small place, believe it or not, and you do damage down that way to somebody, you'll get your back in tenfold when you come to Dublin.
Yeah, but they wouldn't even need to come to Dublin. They just have to come to their numbers in Cork, man. And I think they will. I think they'll have fairly big numbers.
I'll do this in a different way, yeah. I am fucking Polish. I go down, I fucking kill you, and I go back to Poland. End of story. So Cork is only down the road. Anybody wants to do anything stupid.
Cork or Milish.
Exactly. But look, it's going to be a fun day, and hopefully we get the sun.
It's supposed to be nice, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd say it's going to be a fucking cracker of a day. Well, we got it on the 26th, didn't we? Fucking hell is peeling me skin for the week after.
Yeah, that's the summer. Summer done now.
Oh, right. Sorry, I thought you were talking about that they think that bat down there or something. Sorry, Sasha. They won't forgive Derek. Well, look, Derek is just doing something that people don't want to do. He's doing something that he's saying things that people don't want to hear. But at the end of the day, he's telling the truth. Do you know what I mean? So it's just kind of tough shit for him, to be fair.
You can't handle the truth.
Like that thing that happened in Liverpool, the first thing that came out of it was, oh, he's a convert. He's Muslim. He was this, he was that. He wasn't. He was fucking drunk behind the wheel. Well, that's what they're spinning the story as.
An angry Everton fan.
Yeah, well, his Mrs. reported the car stolen as well, believe me.
Ah, well, then he's fucked.
He's gone down for a long time for that. 50 people were injured. Do you know what I mean?
There's still a few in intensive care, isn't there?
Yeah,
and you see, I don't know whether you could see this on the mainstream, but there was a father there and his son was on the ground, but like he was obviously, like when it all happened, they kind of split up in the crowd and the son did, but his son was on the ground, and when he saw his dad, he just, this big smile, but he was in a bad way as well, the child was, believe me.
Yeah.
Fucking horrible for a father. That stood the hair on the back of my neck, that did, watching that.
But yeah, what does that say, right, in general, like that? As soon as that shit happened, what did everybody think? Fucking Muslims again.
Terrorist attack. Yeah, but is that not like the government trying to water it down?
No, it's not even that. What I'm trying to say is they clearly are responsible for a lot of these attacks across the world and obviously across Europe. That's what we're automatically programmed to think straight away. Like, Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? Because remember the Christmas markets in Germany? Muslim convert. Every other fucking shit that's happened over the last few years, Muslims, like, you know what I mean? Now, there's some good Muslims, there's some bad Muslims, obviously the extremists and shit like that. But I mean, like, there's just like they're responsible for a lot of the shit that's happened that it's just not acceptable anymore. Like snipers on the roof,
put it this way.
they were expecting something like, do you know what I mean? It's just fucking.
Yeah, but look at it this way, right? You know your man Simple D,
Yeah.
right? He's a Muslim, right?
Yeah,
But the rhetoric that he comes out with online, right? First of all, let's start about what he's done on TikTok. He starts showing pictures of, sharp objects and all that, and that he's done it, unalive people, literally. Then he says that he wants his kids to hurt their kids because they're not white. Yeah. And then saying that he'll grape women because it suits him to say that. Yeah. And he'll do this, that, and the other. Now, if he's a so-called goody two-shoe Muslim, yeah, why the fuck is all that rhetoric coming out of his mouth? Now he's backtracking on who he is, saying that Liam is not him. If it's not him, put his face up on the fucking live video and say, look, I have to do it because I have to protect that guy. But he's full of shit. He won't. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, like, listen.
And it's like for the last 2 years, do you know what I look like? Do you know where I'm at?
Giddy, that screamed panic stations to me, that did. When he put that out there, that screamed, oh shit, they're onto me. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, it's not that, like there's plenty of people there that, like, it's going to come one way or the other to them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like,
if that was you and someone put out a fake picture of you, like, would you go and put out a big statement like that? No,
not really, no, because it's sit back and laugh.
Yeah, man. You know what I mean? He's rattled to bits and he knows it.
Like, they think if I put my picture up, I get rattled. I don't care if people see me. Like, I'm fucking probably, I was in the fucking Independent, believe it or not.
Do you know what I find funny, Giddy, right? When I say something on Twitter and shit like that or whatever, right? And somebody responds to me like with a picture of myself where it's like, yeah, you have that picture because I put that picture out there. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, here's Kyle here acting out. Yeah, that's me. Yeah. We put that out there 18 months ago. Yeah.
No, do you know what annoyed me? I'll tell you straight up, right? You'll know the pictures that I'm on about. Your past history pictures. Yeah, I'm not going to say what, right? But you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
And like, they put this up, and you look at it. Like, me personally, as another person looking at it, I just go, like, these are real fucking clowns. Like, they're putting up something about somebody that made a mistake years ago, and trying to make it like that he's still that person. Do you know what I mean? When he's not, quite rightly, you can see that he's not. And he went into politics, and he tried his best to fight in politics, and he tried to fight for his own people. And what you're trying to stigmatize him with is his history as a lefty trying to do that. That's what I see. Do you understand?
Yeah, of course. Same as myself. When I had these arguments with people during the elections and all, like with Shinners and all these other parties and TDs and shit like that, I just say, what does it say about geopolitics that somebody like me, who has a history and a past like me, is trying to run? Like, what does that say about your politics? What does it say about the whole Jerry Hutch situation, right? But the fact that so many people went down and voted for him, yeah. Now, I know a lot of people, I don't know 10,000 people like that voted for him, like, but I know a few hundred people, like, you know what I mean, that wanted him to run, etc. No matter what you think of him being a plant, etc., right? But what does that say about the government's failings of the inner city that so many people were going out to vote for Jerry Hutch? And he nearly got elected into the door, like, you know what I mean? But not about the failed policies and about the failure.
He couldn't answer any of them questions. But at the same time, right?
I don't mean that. Listen, what I mean is,
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying there, right? But what I'm saying to you about him in particular, right?
Yeah.
The way I look at Jerry is, right, and people probably think I'm fucking mad here, right? Old school like that, from the city, right?
Yeah.
Knows what it's like to have poverty, knows what it's like to see poverty, knows what it's like to have nothing in his cupboard. Yeah. And that's what I looked at Jerry as. I didn't look at him as because of what he used to be or what he is.
What do you think of his election bid? Do you think he was put there? Do you think basically what people were saying he was a plant, etc.? I don't.
No, he took he took it from he took something, I think, from the guards, basically. I think the guards said, you're getting this, that, and the other if you don't get in there and do that. And the government put him in a situation that he had to do it that way.
No, I don't think that. I just think that he he talking to family, friends, probably people around the area, etc. Like I said, like I know a lot of people in and around that way who did vote for him and who did kind of
He
almost
could have. No,
push
he
him.
could have. He could have left that. He could have quite easily left that. He could have not bothered putting. He came in late show, yeah, for one. Right.
See the people that voted for him, Giddy, an awful lot. Like I'm telling you now, an awful lot of them. So if you're on X, man, you'd see it. Like, you know what I mean? An awful lot of them people who voted for Jerry Hutch absolutely hate Maliki. Like they don't like him.
I know that nobody's trying to be at the moment.
It's not a clear run to say.
Like I make no.
Would have definitely got in if Jerry had.
No, I'll tell you straight now. I make no fucking hidden agenda about that. I like fucking Maliki or not. I don't like Maliki.
Yeah, see, look.
I love the people. I love the people that are there that want their country free. That's what I love. Yeah, and that's why I'm there. Yeah, I'm not there.
48 there. Look, he did more for D1 than anyone. You know what I mean? So like, that's what I'm saying. He's fucking. I don't believe like when people say he was a plant, he was put there. It's like, I'm not, because I know people from, especially from being out and about around the country, especially in and around town during this whole movement the last few years. Like I've some of my closest friends and allies in this movement come from in and around that way, who all distrust.
Everybody is putting Gav in. Everybody's putting Gav Pepper in with the picture of Maliki, right? Yeah, I understand they stand together, whatever they do, right? But I don't think Gav.
Yeah, how much does he? How much Finbar? How much does he fucking take? He remember back in the day. I'm not sure if it's still the same now. But didn't he give that boxing club basically to them for like €2 a month? Was it, or €2 a year? The rent or something was on it, or £2 or something. Do you know what I mean? Like that's basically giving the club to them for fucking free. Like, you know.
Yeah, I understand. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, right? I understand what you're saying there, but again, I still would have liked him to see. Like, I know that people think.
Look, there's a woman you know there. Look, Lady of Era too. Yeah, Kev, I voted for him. I don't think he robbed Maliki's votes. There were people who never going to vote only for Hutch did that.
I don't know. But, like, if he didn't go in though, would he have like getting the vote? I wonder. Would you, like, Kev? In all fairness, do you think you would have gotten the vote if he didn't go in?
Who?
Yeah. I'm talking about the Hutch. Yeah. Do you think you would have gotten in there? Yeah. Because I think that took the picture of who was trying to get in. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No. There was a hell of a lot of coverage for fucking people out in Dublin Bay North alone as well. Do you know what I mean?
How many votes were you outside? Like, it was something like 70 or something like that.
That was the local elections. In fairness, like the local RTE tried to come in and give us coverage during the run up to the elections and all. Like, but we just stood firm on our beliefs. No, I'm not talking the mainstream media. Never have during the movement. Never will. That's why you see me videos, man. Anytime I see any form of fucking mainstream media, whether it be Virgin Media, RTE, anybody at all, I do not talk to them.
Yeah, but hold on, Kev, hold on a second, right? I know where you're going there. Yeah, I understand where you're going there. Yeah, but at the same time, if they're going to give you a cheesy grin on that fucking mainstream stage, yeah.
No, but that's the thing.
You don't have to be their best friend.
No, they don't, man. They don't. That's the thing there, man. The words you're using there alone, they're going to give you a fair this or whatever. Like, that's not. They would have probably done a 15, 20-minute interview. Probably they would have took some parts of it. They would have took the worst parts. They're probably talking about immigration and all this shit. Like, you know what I mean? And they would have just spun a whole different narrative. Like 100%, man. That's what they do. That's what they do, man. You know what I mean? There, Barry O'Kelly was rickshawing around the Indian candidates in his car. Why bother with media?
That's right. Yeah,
that's my point. When Barry O'Kelly wrapped up, so you see, there's 2 videos on my page on my YouTube, man, of fucking of bleeding in the space of 5 minutes to run RTE and Virgin Media out of Hewlock, like, you know what I mean? Because
I'd say there's another way to, right? So imagine you had taken that interview, right? 15 minutes, whatever, right? Yeah. And a few of the boys had been there where you were taking that interview. Say, no, I want my friends there as well. Obviously, this and this. They get it all on the camera. So RTE goes and puts it on their big stage, yeah? Then you get a split screen of what was said and what was actually said. That just puts them in the door.
Yeah. Here's one for you, Giddy. Yeah. Here's one for you. Where's it gone? This was back in when was this? Hold on, let me make this a bit fucking bigger. It's an email from Channel 4, fucking from during the Oakry, and I refused this meeting as well. I'm gonna read it out. Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Right. Lovely. It says, "Hi Kevin, sorry it took long to get back to you after we spoke on Instagram. We are essentially making a documentary around the immigration debate and the new anti-immigration movement in Ireland and the real reasons, behind the unrest that has taken place across the country over the past while. For this project, I want to get both sides of the story around immigration, and I think you would be a good fit to represent the area as you have been an outspoken activist in what I believe is a new political movement building in Ireland. I want to examine how communities that are already neglected by the government are the ones where asylum centres are being built, and how this puts on pressure to communities like Coolock. Also, I believe to get a fair idea of what is going on, we need to look at inequality, long housing waiting list, Irish homelessness, and other things that are often swept under the rug when it comes to coverage of this debate. We will also be speaking with asylum seekers who are homeless in Dublin and getting their perspective on the state and how they are treated. Let me know if you would like to speak further over the phone and get something locked in. My number is blah, 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 blah. All the best, Adam Doyle. Looked into him, and he's a documentary filmmaker for Channel 4.
Oh,
That was just
fucking
after the riots, yeah, and I politely refused it. I was like, no, yeah, all right, thank you.
I was at, one of these migrants that was being interviewed in the city centre.
Sorry, actually, no, that was leading into something. I was going to say, that's why your man Daz, your man Daz News, the TikTok shop fella.
Yeah.
That's why he needs to come out and say who offered them up on the program. And what did he put out a video saying?
Yeah, he did actually. I was listening to that.
Yeah, did he say who it was? That's who he needs to come out and say it. Like, you know what I mean? Because then we
I
can obviously.
I talked to Daz and I'll ask him, but yeah, I talked to him quite regularly.
They do, yeah. But see, like, they wanted to interview homeless asylum seekers in Dublin as well about how they're being treated by the government and all. So, yeah, so they would have slandered. He reached out to me and Sean. And, like, imagine me and Sean, right? Proper, it would have been done in the proper studio and all. Not the way proper documentary gets made. They cut to me or Sean talking, and then they cut the bits of that, and then there'd be the over voice and all this stuff. Like, proper legit gig, like. And, imagine we sit down with him, we give him probably an hour interview, he cuts out fucking most of it, and then he puts the bad parts into it, and then he puts the soft, sad parts from the migrants into it, and then it makes us all look like shit.
Yeah, like you don't care.
No, we don't care now, but it's not a very good light there for the movement, because whether you like it or not, Channel 4 have a very big following, like, you know what I mean? Not that a lot of people.
What about the likes of GBN and things like that? How do you feel about when they GBN?
GB News?
Yeah.
No, I never spoke to GB News either. Sean did. Now Sean gave a couple of interviews to them. All right, yeah. Now I was there with Sean, standing with Sean, like when he was talking, etc. Like, well, I don't ever recall speaking to GB News either. I never spoke to Rebel News. The only fellow he actually.
What's your feeling on Gripped?
Gripped?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was actually meant to do a bit more deep diving into them over the last couple of days since what your man was allegedly saying had a throw being like, but I know it's kind of always 50-50 with your man John McGurk. So wasn't he a vaccine pusher, wasn't he?
Yeah, but we can't talk about on here.
Sorry, my apologies. Yeah, but that's the reasons why then like I was 50-50 on him, yeah. But Ben Scallon, I don't know. He's I have one or two back and forth.
I think he's good. I think he is good, but is that a show for like letting us fall into the pot?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Like, I don't like any media, to be fair. I don't like any of them.
I don't really talk to them. Like the only people that kind of did talk to was your man Nolly. Oh, your man, the Noel Zone fella. Oh, him.
No. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to him. I was on his show a couple of times. I spoke to some little fucking some little country outfit that came down to the camp one morning. Well, fucking Sarsfield's pub, virtual pub or something. I don't know what the fuck it was. It was about 20,000-30,000 views as well on it. But he came down one morning. There's only up out of the nest.
Sorry, Kev, I don't mean to interrupt you. But do you know that pub that your man Mick the bus guy was having trouble with? What's it called again? Fucking
Hannah Brown.
Padda Brown, yeah. What is the story with that? What's going on with that?
What do you mean? Like, well, who called
Is it a lefty pub or what is it?
No,
yeah, you've a Palestinian flag painted on the back of it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a mad republic. It's a mad Republican pub, well, socialist
Celtic pub.
Like, yeah, it's a mad lefty pub, right? So when Mick put that video out and Padders and all slandered them, etc., fucking. Remember the protest that was allegedly caused by somebody? You know what I mean? It was originated on Charlotte O'Sullivan's fucking Instagram, apparently. Fucking on her fucking ex Twitter page.
No, because I can honestly say I like that man Mick. I actually like him. He's down to say.
Really, he's a cool man. So when he started saying you like yourself with people out in Coolock, blah blah blah, he was like, no man, some of the people that were at the camp know him all his life, went to school with him and all. I mean, from the area,
like, Daddy's singer as well as me.
Yeah, he's brilliant, he is, man. Not being funny, like a lot of doors closed on him over that, but a hell of a lot more is out there opening. He got called up to the stage there in town. You won Imelda May or whoever the fuck it was or somebody, and he's had to get a few gigs out, like a few more. So like, yeah, so I mean, the people they see the slander he got, and so he's had to get the roof over his head and all as well. Like, you know what I mean? So listen, when some doors close, more open, you know. And,
yeah, I know, but that pub in particular now is like
the pub in particular, they called the protest for the day Celtic Cup final was on. Yeah, knowing that a lot of, you know what Celtic are like, you know, you see them with their anti-fascist fucking flags and banners in Celtic Park and all, you know what I mean?
Where is that situated, that pub? Where is it? Is it in the city centre, is it?
No, I don't know. I was getting it mixed up. I thought it was the one on Dame Street, but that's fucking Paddock Carney's. We actually don't know where asked the chat. Where's Padda Brown's, folks?
Because a few people have said that to me now about this Padda Brown's, and you know, when it comes to the 22nd, they wanted to have a little walk up.
Yeah, but like what the whole plan was, right? No, none of the so-called far right they were ever gonna turn up to that pub, right? And there would have been hundreds of Celtic fans who were mostly all anti-fascists, etc. Blah blah blah, mad old staunch armchair Republicans, etc. So they would have been like, yeah, look at the crowd that turned up to counter the far right. You know what I mean? When in reality they were there for the Celtic Cup final, which they lost. Yeah,
well, look, at the end of the day, I keep on saying this: who would have not to tell us what to do?
The North Star country, let them there.
No, I'm saying, like, I'm aiming that at them as well. Who are they to tell us what to do?
I actually meant to say this to you the other day, and I couldn't go into the live when you were talking about, when you were saying about the United Ireland and all. I was like, I'm not for United Ireland, I'm against the United Ireland, me.
I'd like to say it before I go.
No, we can't afford it, man.
I know we can't afford it, but in a realistic world, I would like to say it, because since I'm a kid, like, we used to write, like, you know.
I know, but as I was saying, the politics ain't going to accept that either.
Lockray area 1014. Yeah, no, that's why I said, like, a lot of fucking Celtic fans are going woke and with the fucking anti-fascists and all. Like, I didn't mean all these, like, you know what I mean? So apologies for that one. But what were you saying there? Fucking.
Yeah, like the writing on the wall when you were young. See, and then it was like 26. I haven't actually wrote on my body, believe it or not. 26, sorry, 22, not 26. Do you know what I mean?
Like a lot of, I heard tonight as well on the space that, like, see the way see the way a lot of people are trying to align with the Northerners and all, right? Now, see the way they're trying to bring the whole Catholic, Protestant, loyalist gig together and all, like, right? There's someone was saying on the space too that no, you need to stay away from that, because a lot of the loyalists want the 26 brought under British rule. So they want the in United Ireland, but like on the British rule, like they want
Yeah,
6
I
counties
know.
to
I've seen
join
that.
26. So like that's red flag straight away. Like
I had it with one of them. I had it with one of them on his live.
it was your live on TikTok, wasn't it?
No, not my actual live. It was on this other guy's live. I guess it was actually in there, Paddy Cap. Yeah. And he was talking to this guy that is pure British, that lives in the north.
Paddy Cap who?
Paddy Cap Joe.
From Coolock?
Yeah.
Something like that thing. That's a clown.
Yeah, I know this already. I was telling them straight and fucking.
So you're seeing the video. You're seeing the video.
Yeah. Before they even saw that video, this is before.
I watched the video. I've never seen the video.
But you can't really see. You can just hear him out and off, and then next of all, you can see him. He's on the deck.
He goes night on the ground.
Twice.
Look, I said it straight out to him. I said, you know what you're doing, end the story. And you're told to fuck off away from the wall and everything else. I put it very clear. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this guy was saying, but no, I'm British and you take my British away. I said, if you're living on the island of Ireland, you're not fucking British, you prick. You know what I mean? And I says, I'm in Northern. I said, I don't give a fuck. What does that word say after Northern? Ireland. It doesn't say Northern Britain. It says fucking Ireland. And it's just like, getting up his nose with it.
Yeah. No, I can't have it.
Do you understand what I'm saying here?
That's why I'm saying, like, they're not, like, just look at how much, right, it costs the British to, like, fucking patrol. Like, even they bring them 6 counties under Garda, like, just change them from PSNI to Garda. You're talking fucking millions upon millions. You know what I mean? And then you have like the what's it, the fucking, not the HSC, the NHS, all that'll have to be converted and everything else. I'm telling you, man, it's fucking, like, I get what they're saying, it'd be nice hypothetically, but realistically, nah, it's not, like, you know what I mean?
Well, I put it this way, and I got really annoyed there today about all this. And anyway, to be fair,
if we could afford it, then yeah, it would be for it. But like, not
no,
the way.
I put it back. I put it back at that fucking Tozer did today, because I'm starting to get pissed off at them up there, thinking somehow they have the right to tell us what to do. So I said, listen, you're all taking the king's money, yeah? You all live under British rule, whether you fly a fucking Union Jack or you fly a fucking tricolour up there. These are all for Palestine and this, that, and the other. Yous are so fucking mixed up. Your moral compass is so fucked up. You don't know what yous are, yeah? Yous are fucking mongrels in my eyes. The South are the real Irish, and we've only flown a flag, and that was the tricolour down here. And it was a green flag with a fucking heart before that, and a blue one before that. So go fuck yourselves, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I'll never stand under a Union Jack, and I'll never stand with a poppy in my fucking life. Now, don't get me wrong. What I say about the poppy, I don't mean any disrespect there, because I understand what it means.
Yeah.
It's about falling soldiers.
See the way they know, right, up the north, yeah, they know. They look at what cost Ireland 200 billion. Like, if man, the rest, that'd be just a year. The way this government spends, yeah, 200 billion
That's
a year.
a starry house.
Fuck's sake. But what are we fucking saying there before that?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but listen, come here. Like, why should they have any dictation as to what we do down here? And if we don't choose to go up there and help them with any protest, why should we? Like, I got alive there because I said that, oh no, I wouldn't step up to Belfast. I told them. I says, you think I'm going to step there and watch some cunt pull out a fucking Union Jack and think that I'm going to stand under that? You've got another thing coming.
Oh, but you know what's happening, Giddy? They're only getting worried now because the migrants are coming across from the UK.
In numbers, yeah.
They're coming across, right, from England, right? I say the UK, right, because it's the north is in the UK, right? So they're obviously coming from England, right? All these migrants, yeah. And they're not as many of them now across the border as what was 6, 12, 18 months ago. A lot of them are now starting to stay up the north. So that's why the northerners are getting worried. You know what I mean? That's why they're calling for unity and all this shit up there. Like, no, like, you always worry about, like, stopping the boats coming in, stopping them crossing the border.
I said it to them. I said, if you've got a problem with up there, what's going on, don't mind going to your local council. Don't mind going to your local fucking square or whatever it is. Go to the fucking airport and go to the ports and stop them coming in. Stop them. Yeah? Like you did many, many years ago. What's stopping you doing it now?
Like, listen, if we knew they were coming in through the East Wall port, right, and going up and getting the bus up to the north, and like we'd be stopping it.
Yeah, because it's coming through air down. It's coming through air country.
Yeah, but they're not. They're coming that the south of Ireland is the destination. But obviously, a few of them are happy to stay up north. That's why the Nordies are starting to get a bit worried now because, like I said, not as many are coming down. But I can tell you now for 1,000,000%, if that was the case, that thousands of them are coming in through the south and all heading to the north, we'd be out there putting a stop to it. So the Northerners, I support the Northerners in the gig. I feel sorry for them and all, like, yeah, but like it's the same way anywhere else. I live in the south. I live in Dublin. I'm like, you know what I mean? This is where I need to protect the area at first, where I live and where my children live, and then I'll worry about the country as a whole. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the way it is. Unless communities look after their own community each, and then we can band together as one nation. You know what I mean? There's no people 5 from Dundalk and 5 from things, 5 from Killock down up. So not the whole nation. Yeah, go on. Sorry, once I'm stoned, man.
No. I get you. But like what I'm saying to you is like we are dealing with our own problems here. We are dealing with the migrant crisis that's happening in this country. Yeah, we are currently doing what we have to do. We are leading the way, I think, personally, across Europe. Smallest country, strongest fucking hearted people. You get me?
There's Poland are definitely ahead of us regarding their immigration policies and laws. But yeah, well, for a little small nation, we're putting up the best fight we can, but certainly not the best in Europe. Look at Poland, man. They're shooting them at the border and all.
Oh yeah, we wouldn't be allowed to do that, would we?
No. Someone says who opened the doors as well, like the doors to unlimited mass migration. No, I'm not quite sure. Was it not Alan Shatter? Or was it before Shatter? Someone before Shatter? I don't know. We thought it was Alan Shatter. Someone told me.
I think what Steady Eddie's getting at there was the Jews, Zionists.
I was just going to say they're small heads.
I thought he meant in Ireland, like who was the one that gave the go ahead for this shit. Oh, sure it was Alan Shatter.
Well, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who done it. This is their land, their country, and since 1010, we've been here and we've fought, fought against the Vikings onwards. So if you want to go history-wise, we fought with everybody that ever hit our land. We never failed to fight for our land, and we still won't to this day. But these people that, let's say, used to be a group of people that fought for this land, and seeing a man with a beard called Jerry Adams sit outside their courts with a fucking poppy on his jacket, get the fuck out of my garden.
Trump getting rid of illegal Irish immigrants, fellas. Oh, we heard that. Yeah, I heard these. It's a lot of people.
4x2, yeah. It's in our DNA. Yeah, that's it, Casper.
Charlie Flanagan signed the Migrants Pact, I think it was 2018, 2019. Someone says the Shatter opened up Ireland to citizenship. Oh, citizenship ceremonies. And yes, he is a small hack himself. Coincidence. Very good. Charlie Flanagan, the former Minister for Justice, wasn't he? The Minister for Justice 2018, 2019.
I like that. Cohen.
Yeah, coincidence.
It's like, straight away, like if you go to the UK, you go into a Jewish area, nearly anybody that's anything is Cohen.
Cohen. Yeah.
Look at the pharmacies that are owned over here. It's Cohen. Do you know what I mean? Simon Covey. Covey's a dirty little fucking runt.
Cohen is a treasonous little bastard.
He is absolutely getting rear-ended by the fucking WEF. He is absolutely being pumped, fucking trained by them all. Absolute scumbag. Traitor to this country.
They all are.
No, he is especially. He wanted to put 10 million of them into this country.
That's the government's plan now, still right now.
Yeah, but to get to 10 million, fuck me, man.
Yeah, we should brace
16 million.
No, I said we should embrace ourselves to become a nation of 10 million.
Yeah.
So Charlie
10
Black.
fucking million.
Look at that one, Charlie Black and
I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, right? But I'll be very honest when I put this a different way. If it was Ukrainians and it was Polish and, white Europeans that were coming in, 10 million. Yeah, fair enough. But not fucking half and not Africa.
Yeah. The company, man, didn't realise, man, probably it still is now, like in the background, pulling a lot of strings. But he was pulling major strings from 2020 up until last year, like, you know what I mean? Still even is now with the whole fucking neutrality gig and everything else. Like, it's just fucking like why do they hate us so much? Like, that's what we can't understand. Like, why do they want to do this? Obviously,
because the only people that were around culture. That's why.
Control and all that. Yeah, but they're Irish. Well, they just want to fucking keep that, like, not sell it out. You know what I mean?
Like, just to give you an example, right? I know this is totally, completely different, right? You ever heard the Beer Fest, Oktoberfest in Germany?
Yeah, steady.
Right? It used to be, like proper big build German girls that could carry a pot of beer between their fucking boobs, yeah? That's what the whole idea of the Beer Fest was in Germany, right?
Yeah.
You look at last year's one that my mate went to, he was disappointed. He said he went there and there was Brazilians, there was fucking Africans, there was fucking all sorts trying to do the same job as what the Germans were doing. Do you get what I'm saying? And he just thought to himself, like, what the fuck did I pay to come here for? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, it's like what people want to pay to come to Ireland for. See Irish people, to hear Irish culture, have the Irish crack, you know what I mean? Not like African dancing and people waving Palestine flags around.
And why do you think they hired the price of a pint in the city centre in Temple Bar to €10 to take away that custom, to take away that people coming in because they go,
it's not that, I have to disagree with you on that one. It's because they know the tourists will pay it. That's why.
It's 10-20 a point, Giddy.
I guarantee you, right, on my mother's life, yeah, I guarantee you they put points up to €20 tomorrow. 6 months' time to be still €20. Can it?
In Cork, is it cheap enough for a beer down there or what?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. So, see, I don't drink, like, you know what I mean? So I just usually get a little bit of grub down there in one of the pubs or whatever, yeah.
I'm just getting, fucking Jack Daniels on a bump.
You have to, you have to fucking, put on the Cork accent you do, because if you hear your dub accent and you ask for grub and poison it.
I'd be on my own bottle.
Chips, boy.
I'd be an old bottle and then fucking a bump.
You have enough bumps, Giddy. You need to lose a few.
€20 per pint of piss water.
I got mousy into that, I did.
The whiskey?
Yeah, remember? And
it was nice,
for a pint of piss water. You can say that again.
What do you call it? The second part of what I just said to you. He was there. Yeah, he had the whiskey and he went up the road in the car and he says, I don't know about that. Next time he rang me. He fucking goes, that's walking now. That's fucking walking. Couldn't shut him up then.
It was in great form, I was.
It's actually quite nice. I think it's lovely. Can't get anything else that mixes with that well. Don't do pubs. No, I don't really do pubs. I don't drink or take drugs really myself. I get stoned on the fumes of a fucking joint, mate.
Sure, seen you, yeah.
Yeah, I do. Like, I'm not ashamed of saying that. I bet you are all fucking jealous. To be fair, I get fucking absolutely whacked over with him and fucking Boots when we used to do the one in the houses. Two of them sitting there puffing away and I'd be stoned down my mallet.
The last time I was in Temple Bar, Sean, we got fucked out of the pub. Me and Irish D. And some other one. Who's your own? Can't remember. But me, Irish D, and somebody else got fucked out of the pub. Because the Irish D requested an Irish Rebel song.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't be allowed to do that anymore.
Yeah, they were filming. Then they asked for to leave.
Neil Fitzpatrick. I remember those days of going into the pub and getting absolutely wasted, like drinking. You think, yeah, oh yeah, grand, hit the fresh air, bang. Like getting a fucking smack off Mike Tyson. What the fuck? Best days of my life. Still managed to get home.
So what are we going to do? We're doing another live on Sunday, is it? So people know that you're in here.
Yeah, 7 o'clock on Sunday. Yeah. 7 o'clock Sunday. You're sweet with that, Mousy?
Yeah. 7 o'clock Sunday, yeah.
7 o'clock Sunday. We'll bring some more to the table. See what we get to find out between now and then. Guys, I say
get
this.
Rain across. Even get Med B across. Or Maeve.
I did message them. I messaged them already, and obviously they didn't. But what I'd say is, do you have the buy me a coffee? Even if we get a pound, guys, it's all towards juice for next Saturday. It's not that we're struggling. It's just it's nice to have that few quid in the tank because it is expensive to get down there and back. It's a 3.5 hour drive. Well, 2.5 hour, 3 hour drive, something like that. And if anybody can, donate into it and support us.
Probably 3.5 hours, is it? I don't know what it is down the Cork.
I'm not too sure. I think it's about 2.5 hours, 3 hours, something like that. Head of ball drives probably fucking 2 hours, to be fair. But look, it's here and there. Any support is gratefully received, and thank you. And I'm gonna bid you good night. And anyway, we've been on for nearly 3 hours now. And anyway,
yeah, same with that, bro.
Boots already nose off.
Didn't even see Kev go off there.
Yeah, I know. Kev just went off into the light.
Right.
Right, guys. Thanks for coming in, and I will talk to you all soon. It's been lovely talking to you all.
See you later, yeah.
Yeah, I'll see you later. I'm gonna say goodbye to a few people because
yeah. See
Paul,
you Casper. Long shot.
Casper, yeah, everybody. Sean, I can't say that. Air 1014. I'm gonna say the second part instead of saying I don't know how to say a first part. But yeah, it's been lovely talking to you all, and I wish you a good evening and have a lovely weekend. A lovely bank holiday coming up. Hopefully to see us all on the 7th next week.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. See you all, folks. Yeah, and for tuning in. I'm back live on Sunday, 7 o'clock. See you all then. See you later, Giddy.
See you later, bro. No, Robert, I won't lose being a patriot. I love me country. Take care. God bless everybody.
See you all there. Yeah, bye-bye.